to 4 people being arrested. The investigation targeted downtown Bakersfield and the homeless population. Officers say that last Wednesday, Eric Hinton was arrested for distributing meth. Surveillance reportedly showed 3 others arrested for transport and possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. Detectives recovered meth, MDMA pills, suspected fentanyl, as well as digital scales, packing materials, 14 firearms, and a large amount of cash believed to have come from drug sales. Polo Community Park was the scene of a freedom of speech ride following the death of Charlie Kirk. Those who participated dedicated their vehicles with American flags. One of the organizers, Pastor Angelo Frazier, said that there were those who attempted to murder free speech last week, and they say no to that. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Let a bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand? You hear me call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening. This is the Ralph Bailey Show, live from the Rogers Brandon Global Telephone Network. What? Huh? What is he talking about? I'm discombobulated because I'm trying to put on my microphone and start the broadcast at the same time. We got a busy Monday broadcast, as I'm sure many of you know. We've got a couple of gargantuan stories that are breaking late. We'll begin with the president telling pregnant women, quote, taking Tylenol is not good. Don't do it. We'll unpack that. There's a lot to unpack there, too. And, of course, I'm sure all of you have heard that Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air beginning tomorrow. We'll talk about that and some of the reactions to Jimmy Kimmel being suspended over the past weekend. And on the eve of 107 days dropping I guess you'd call it the campaign autobiography of Kamala Harris, there are more excerpts that they should at least surprise you, if not shock you. We'll unpack that. And Governor Newsom is in the news for a couple of reasons. Locally, legislators here are celebrating the fact that he signed SB 237, which will provide 2,000 more oil wells here in Kern County. But he also signed a law that bans ICE agents from wearing masks. We'll get into both of those and a lot of sports. An unbelievable weekend in football. Dallas fans are ready to string up Jerry Jones. Maybe Caleb Williams is the real deal. Philly finds a freaky way to win. See that alliteration there? Philly finds a freaky way to win. And Travis Kelce gets into it with Andy Reid again. And downtown Los Angeles, it was all Clayton Kershaw's weekend. I got a bunch of audio that I think I sent to Chris, and I might have on my phone as well. Clayton addressing the Dodgers Stadium fans on Sunday, where once again, by the way, I don't have to tell you. And it's to the point where they're now discussing having starters come out of the bullpen during the playoffs. And I shouldn't omit, I shouldn't assume that you know what I'm talking about. Blake Trinan, leading 1-0 in the ninth, did it again. And of course, Dave Roberts did it again. He loaded the bases, and I'm like, all right, where's Dave? Where's Dave? Dave, somebody wake up Dave Roberts. Left him in there. We lose 3-1. So now they're literally discussing having Tyler Glasnow be the closer for game one. because it'd only be 1 or 2 innings, and that would be his bullpen day anyway. So he would probably throw just as hard and just as many pitches. Then they're saying that you would have Sheehan be Snell's backup game 2. And then depending on how many pitches Yamamoto throws, let's say he only goes 7 and only throws 70, 80 pitches, you have him come back and be the closer on the 3rd day, or maybe have, what's our best player's name again? I keep forgetting his name, 17. Shohei Ohtani be the guy on the 3rd or the 4th day. Because the reality is, and I think after what, 154, how many we got left? Like 6, 7, 8, 9
Maybe
games, 150-something games, we figured out a couple of things. Despite the fact what's happened recently, Michael Conforto can't hit. I almost lost $20 to Mike Arrier.
Did you really?
We're at Billy's having dinner.
Uh-huh.
And I said, here comes Conforto. I'll bet you $20 he doesn't get on base. I'll bet you $20 right now he doesn't get on base. And walks don't count. I'll bet you $20. And he picked up his hand and he didn't do it. Next pitch. There's a deep drive. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. And it'll leave the ballpark. And I was like, sorry, brother. You just lost yourself $20.
Alive and well.
It was so funny. And he went on that night. I think, what was that, Saturday night? I think he went 3 for 3 that night, as a matter of fact. Because later in the dinner, I said, hey, Mike, your boy got another hit. just to rub it in, because I escaped my $20 bet. But we'll talk about that. And I can't read my own writing. Oh, it's and Rory Sasaki is another one they're talking about using as a bullpen, because there's I didn't finish my thought. We figured out a couple of things with this Dodger team. A, Conforto can't hit. You got to be able to hit 200 in the big leagues. I mean, it used to be like 250, but apparently now just 200. They're hitting the 190s. Kike's in the 190s. Our 2 backup catchers are in the 190s. We're going to have problems at the bottom of the lineup. That's clear. But the one thing that stands out the most, that every Dodger fan, whether you're a 12-year-old girl that just started watching the Dodgers or you're a 63-year-old man who's been watching them since 1971, we got big problems in the bullpen. There's no one that is trustable out there. No one. You know, it's one thing when Tanner Scott comes in, but I'm just as nervous when Trinan comes in. I'm just as nervous when Vesia comes in. The left-handed kid, Wojciechowski, whatever the hell his name is, there's just no one trustable in our bullpen. And I like this idea of doubling up on the starters. I mean, if it gets crunch time in a 3-game series against the Mets, which is what it's looking like it's going to shape up to be, that's what we're going to have to do. I don't think there's any question about that. But we'll delve into all these things. Then I've got some other miscellaneous news and notes. Bill Maher exposing the Democrats for their hypocrisy. We'll play that for you. And Pete Buttigieg reacting to Kamala Harris's homophobic statement. But the big story of the day, beyond Jimmy Kimmel getting back on the air tomorrow, is the president, along with Robert Kennedy, telling pregnant women not to take Tylenol because they claim, and even Robert Kennedy used the term association versus causation. There is no question, and there never has been, there really never has been in the medical field. And again, let me preface this with, I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Let's make that clear. No clue. I am parroting what I've heard respected pundits and experts, medical professionals say. So let's make that clear. But it is from people who know what the hell are talking about what I'm parroting. And that is that, A, there's always been some association with acetaminophen and autism, an association. But there's never been any evidence of a direct link, of direct causation. And so the president came out today, and we didn't get any audio because it broke late. It was supposed to come on at 1 o'clock.
We ran a little bit of it during JR show.
Did you? I don't know. Well, so you have some audio?
No.
You ran it live?
We ran the live
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because it broke late. I don't know whether it was supposed to start at 1 o'clock, and I don't know whether they backed it up because of Kimmel's news broke at like 12:30, 12:40. That might have had something to do with, I don't know, but it broke late. We'll play some audio maybe for you tomorrow. But for the president of the United States, as a man who hasn't driven by a medical school, to come on and tell women not to take Tylenol, and then to send this weird message, and these are direct quotes where he said that you shouldn't take it. Please stand by. I don't want to misquote the president of the United States. Unless it's medically necessary. Now, what the hell does that mean? What do you think, they're taking Tylenol just as a after dinner mint? And what you have to understand about autism is that we do know some things about autism. We know, A, that women, and please, women that with children, please call in, type me up, add to the conversation. I really need to hear from you today, whether you text anonymously, call in, or if it's in the chat room. But it's my understanding that fever is a direct causation of autism, a pregnant woman with a fever. Hence the need for Tylenol, because Tylenol is the only accepted medication that can bring down your fever. And that's why I don't understand how the president's saying don't take it unless it's medically necessary. Because, and again, ladies, fill me in on this, it's 65% of pregnant women take Tylenol. And I don't think that women are taking it for pain relief. That's just my hunch. It's based on nothing that I've heard on television, nothing I've heard from medical professionals. It's just my hunch. Most women can suffer through the pain. It's the fever that they're concerned about because of the direct causation with autism and any other problem that it may cause the fetus that a fever has, which it causes. So I don't understand that. And we do know that Advil and Motrin do cause issues in terms of autism. So that's why Tylenol is the only medication that women take, 65% of them. But here is my issue. Because again, if Robert Kennedy, who I think is the biggest nutty cuckoo clown in this clown show of a cabinet, if he's right, then great. We bring down the cases of autism. That's wonderful. But at least we have to ask some questions, some really important questions, like, why is there a geographical trend in autism? Do you know what state leads the country in autism? Guess where? California. So explain to me why there are more cases of autism in California than there are in my daddy's home state or my mama's home state of South Carolina and Georgia. Is it Robert Kennedy's thesis that more California pregnant women take Tylenol than Georgia and South Carolina pregnant women? That's my first issue. My second issue is, why is there a gender trend in autism? These aren't stats that I made up in my palatial downtown pad. The fact of the matter is, please stand by, let me direct quote, I don't want to get this wrong, Jack, that there has been a 175% increase over the last 20 years. So something is going on. 1 in 31 kids get autism. However, when you examine it by gender, 4 in 100 boys get autism. 1 in 100 females get autism. That's a pretty wide discrepancy. And what the hell does that have to do with taking acetaminophen? If the boys are trending and the girls aren't, what are you telling me? That there's some coincidence that women that are having babies that are girls aren't taking acetaminophen and women that are having boys are? Come on now. So until we answer these questions, why is it so high in California, but it's low here in Minnesota and Georgia and South Carolina? What, they sell less Tylenol there? I doubt it. And the gender discrepancy is gargantuan as well. And at the end of the day, for me at least personally, it's coming out of the direction of Robert Francis Kennedy Jr., who, I'm sorry, most of you a year ago or 2 years ago would completely agree with me. He's nutty as the fruitcake that you bury, that your parents send you for Christmas. Nutty as a fruitcake. Just saying. And you know, most of you back in the days when he was associated with the Democratic Party would have wholeheartedly agreed with me. But now that he's on the Trump team, well, he's a genius. He's an absolute genius. And he's not. And he absolutely isn't. When we come back, we'll get into the late breaking story. Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air tomorrow. So now, Democrats have to explain, where's all this FCC pressure? Where is all this FCC pressure? I thought that ABC, Disney, Bob Iger, Sinclair Broadcasting, Nexstar Broadcasting, I thought they knelt to the king. Well, he's still the king, and they're bringing him back. So that argument is out. We'll delve into this when we come back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a busy, busy Monday. Kathy Abernathy at 4 o'clock. It's TRBS right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Tuesday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show will break down everything in the White House moving towards a continuing resolution when it comes to the budget. What is the absolute latest there? And we will continue to track what is going on with the investigations into vaccines from RFK Jr. All that and more, Tuesday edition, Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
September is National Preparedness Month. And if you're anything like me, I'm always asking
You
myself
tried this?
why. Why
You
would
tried it, the
government
PB&J
dedicate
deal?
an entire month to this? I think you and I both know the real reason. It's because when things go sideways, you're on your own. FEMA all but admits they can't save everyone, and their response
Not
time
bad.
just this year has been horrendous. So instead of sitting around waiting for someone else to step in, I'm actually going to do something about it.
What's that,
I found a
pickle?
reliable way to get everything I need to weather any storm. Emergency
bad.
food with enough calories to keep me strong, along with
Ooh,
water
there's the peanut
filtration,
butter.
power, cooking, heating.
That's kinda
I
weird.
get it all from My Patriot Supply. They're the #1 trusted source for preparedness items.
Well,
They
it
actually
tastes
manufacture
jelly.
a ton of their stuff right
But the
here in
peanut
the
butter was
U.S.
delayed.
And they've got over 90,000 five-star reviews. When it comes to my family, I'm trusting the best. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now to protect what is yours. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
I don't know if I'd order it. But
Hey
I
folks,
eat lunch
this
on
is Michael
Starbucks.
Beans, noted barbecue connoisseur.
Oh, hand me that microphone. This is the real Michael Bean, noted barbecue connoisseur. That was my buddy Jeff Salters doing his best impression of me. And you'll never guess where I am. I'm sitting
What,
here eating
real hot?
barbecue with the man. Hey, why don't you tell us about what's going on with the catering in the banquet hall?
Thanks,
What,
buddy. Yes, we have got the
shit or
catering line. It is hopping. People are calling in, booking their caterings right
I
now.
love
And
it.
for those of you looking for a banquet hall or a facility to host your event, we got you covered. Salty's Banquet and Event Center, 6720 Chirag Court. So just give us a call at 661-563-2739, 661-563-2739.
Salty's Barbecue and Catering, 9425 Rosedale Highway and 6801 White Lane.
Hey, folks, you know the line. Say it with me. California Grilled.
Texas approved.
Mommy, Popeyes are good.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Oh no, Dad, I spilled juice on the carpet.
Don't worry, kiddo. We have stain-resistant carpet from Carpet Outlet Plus.
Dad, Lucky dumped his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof floor at Bakersfield's best flooring store. Now offering 1-year, no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Wow. Boy, the peanut butter really hangs on.
I love peanut butter, so I'm not.
I do too. That's my favorite Girl Scout cookie, the peanut butter.
Ooh, those are good. Thin Mints are my favorite, though.
No, everybody loves Thin Mints. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm a peanut butter guy.
Have you
And
ever
the
tried them
lemon
in the
deals.
freezer?
Yeah, I've done them in the freezer. Yeah.
I'm talking about the peanut butter ones, too.
Ooh, no.
Oh, the chocolate peanut butter ones, those in the freezer, too?
I've never had the chocolate peanut butter.
You haven't seen the peanut butter or the ones that are like Reese's?
Mm-mm.
Oh, they're so good.
And I'm a huge Reese's fan, as a matter of fact. So Jimmy Kimmel got a reprieve, and he's back on the air. Just so you know, however, his contract's up at the end of the year. And the real question in terms of his future, because everybody wanted to make this out about Nexstar and Sinclair and ABC. And as I tried to explain to you, as someone with some limited knowledge of television, having worked in the industry, particularly for a local affiliate, this decision really came down to the affiliates. And for the short term, it would be idiotic, absolutely insane for the affiliates not to take him back. Chris Burdick, do you know why it would be idiotic for the affiliates for the short term not to take him back?
Because of the outrage that happened because of his cancellation? And the loss of the viewers that would come from it?
Because of the loss of the viewers?
Like just because of the viewers like backing away from the networks because of that?
No. What do you think the numbers are going to be on that show tomorrow?
I know that's true too.
They're going to be astronomical.
That's absolutely true.
I have never, literally never, ever watched the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Have I seen excerpts? Have I intentionally looked after interviews that he did with certain guests? Yes. But I've never, first of all, 11:30, I'm asleep, or at least in bed with the lights out, watching my phone, trying to fall asleep, first of all. Second of all, I'm not a fan. I've told you guys, when I first got into radio, I did a two-man show with Chris Porphyry called The Chris and Ralph Show. And about a year into it, they wanted us to listen to Jimmy and Adam Carolla, who at the time had a successful show. I think they were based out of Arizona. Then they took it to television, The Man Show, which I thought was basically a men's show that adhered to the lowest common denominator of men. They talked about sports and sex and women and blah, blah, blah. And I just never thought it was funny. That's the only reason I never watched it. Nothing ideological about it. But there are a couple of things we have to know. A, we've got to note that now the left has no argument that the FCC is going to, as they've been talking about, strong arm ABC, which I agree with Ted Cruz and Rand Paul, that the FCC should not be threatening people's licenses, should not be threatening even Jimmy Kimmel for what he said. I really believe that. I still believe Jimmy Kimmel got suspended because the affiliates had a problem with it. Now, they're going to be on board right now because, like I said, who's not going to be watching his monologue tomorrow? Does he apologize? Does he double down? I mean, the numbers for that show, remember, let's just put it this way. Remember I told you Friday or Thursday, he's averaging 1.1 million viewers. Let's see how many viewers he gets tomorrow night. I guarantee you he might be in the double digits. There might be 10 million people watching that show, which is 10 times his daily average. So it would be idiotic for the affiliates to say, no, we're going to run Celebrity Feud. It'd be idiotic. But in the long run, again, his deal is up in January. And it all depends on what he says tomorrow on what those affiliates do. Ain't got nothing to do with the FCC. Really doesn't have anything to do with Bob Iger and Disney, which, by the way, you should also know, not only is Nexstar in a deal to get another television syndication company, but Disney is trying to buy the NFL network. So where is all this pressure from the FCC? They obviously feel that they're going to go with this guy. So all of these allegations that the FCC forced this decision, that argument is DEAD. It's absolutely dead. Unless Brandon Carr steps in and tries to do something to the American Broadcasting Company, which I doubt. Quick break. We're coming right back. It's TRBS on a Monday, the final week of the fair. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Gary, you got a listener named Nicole on the line. She want to talk to you about the Tylenol thing.
With Vice President J.D. Vance calling Charlie Kirk
Make sure
a
she
martyr
hangs
for
on.
Christianity, some Kirk
So she'll be
admirers
first up
suggest
when I
his
get back.
assassination will galvanize throngs of people, notably young conservatives, to become more engaged in churches.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. Okay, cool.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. 2 men have been arrested for alleged possession and distribution of child pornography. Ryan Jackson and Connor Rubalcado were arrested on Karma Court, north of Pacheco Road, east of Monitor Street Sunday morning. Both are in custody and set to be arraigned tomorrow. 2 people died over the weekend after a crash on Highway 65 and Famoso Road. It happened when a 76-year-old man driving a 2016 Honda Fit heading east on Famoso Road went into the intersection with Highway 65. The tractor-trailer lost control, hitting the dirt and overturned. The man driving the Honda and his 66-year-old female passenger did not survive the crash. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Please meet Paul Sheldon's client, Marilyn Bull.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Bull. I heard of Paul Sheldon through my husband. So when I retired, I decided I'm going to go to him too. And I'm very pleased. The experience with Paul Sheldon has been great. Every question you asked, he had an answer for. He was patient and explained everything to where you could understand it. So I'm glad I had him to go to, because otherwise I would be confused. I would recommend Paul Sheldon to anybody because it is so much easier to go there and have someone actually show you and explain to you what your options are. And when you leave there, if you still didn't quite understand, you can always call and even make an appointment with you and rediscuss the whole thing. I also have recommended it to my sister. Thank you, Paul Sheldon, for all your help, and I wouldn't know what to do without you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it. And it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more. And I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Tuesday's Armstrong and Getty Show, the details behind Trump's announcement that they may have found a link between autism and Tylenol. Also, it's going to be America against the world at the UN this week, and we'll have the details.
And why marriage is increasingly just for the affluent in America. It's a very strange cultural change. Hard to say how we got here. That and the news of the day on the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News AM 1180 KERN. KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Wild desire. I fell into
842-537-6842 KERN. I think we got a caller. Who you got?
Nicole is on the line.
Nicole, you're on the Bailey Show.
Hi, Ralph. I'm a
Nicole.
listener, but I don't usually call in, but I wanted to call in with just a couple of thoughts in regards to what you said about the Tylenol that President Trump has said. I've not heard his announcement yet today, but interestingly, a friend of mine who is a nurse told me 20 years ago, before I ever had my children, throw all Tylenol away and get it out of your house. Don't take it when you're pregnant. Let your kids take it. Do not use it. And there is a big.
Can I stop you right there? Can I
Okay.
stop you? What did you ask her? What do I do if I get a fever?
She did, and she said that most doctors talk to the doctor about taking low doses of ibuprofen, that you can take that, which my doctor had no issues with. There's a big kind of an underground thing with Tylenol that a lot of people don't talk about because it is used for so many things, but it can lead to a lot of problems. And so when they say autism, I'm not quick to dismiss it. I mean, I would do my own research, but I just think that there could be something there because they've linked it to many different things with people, with children having seizures, with women having premature births, with different disorders. That disorder where you basically have a reaction and burn from the inside out. I don't know the name of it, but it's a thing that people get sometimes from medication.
Yeah.
So I do know there's something there because over the years I've asked other people who are in the health industry and they're like, don't take it. I don't even have it in your house.
But here's my question. Here's my question. Because I never knew that fever was a direct link to autism. So here's my question when they started questioning acetaminophen. What comes first? The reason that you're taking acetaminophen is because you have a fever.
Right.
And if we know that fever causes autism, then is it the fever that's caused the autism or the fact that after you got the fever, you took Tylenol?
Exactly. And that I don't know. And like I say, I follow some sources just that are kind of not in the mainstream, that just to kind of get my own, kind of more holistic, like what's going on or what is out there. But one thing I did read about several months ago that is kind of just not talked about is the rates of autism in California you mentioned versus the rest of the country.
Mm-hmm.
There's a direct link to autism and EMF rays, which EMF rays can come, well, they do come, but from a lot of sources, but solar panels. And there is a link there to believing because of the amount of solar farms and solar panels we have here in the state of California, because so many people have gone that way for tax benefits, that not that they don't have them in other states, but not to the level that those are leading to a higher increase.
Well,
The
the
it's one of the
president.
things people don't talk about.
Yeah, Kennedy and the president didn't mention that today.
Exactly. So it's just, all I wanted to do is chime in and just say there's a lot of interesting things. There's a book out there you might look at. It's been out for a long, long time, but it's called the China Study. And it's a study these doctors did over a 30-year period of the United States, and basically about our health and about different things that basically are not talked about, but they do exist, and problems that we as Americans and diseases we as Americans have that they don't have in Asian cultures, which I find fascinating. For example, cancer, for example, acne. Those are Western civilization
Heart
problems.
disease.
Heart disease. And so it's interesting. Like I say, I mean, I don't know one way or another of what the president said is correct or not, but I was just chiming in because I have been told that for many years. And again, it's just interesting what could be out there and what could be tied.
Yeah. Okay. Great call, Nicole. Thanks for the information. We appreciate it.
Okay. Keep doing what you're doing. I love listening to you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate
All
that.
righty.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's not as if I'm rooting against Bobby Kennedy, even though I think he's a nut job. But I think we need more evidence. And even Mark Siegel, who is Fox's medical expert, said the very same thing, that there is a gargantuan difference between an association and a direct causation. And as I said, the biggest questions that I have is a woman mostly takes Tylenol because she has a fever. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? The fever or the Tylenol? What is causing that? And I just don't think that the President of the United States is in a position to, A, ruin an American company like Tylenol and simply categorically tell women, don't take it, and then come back with this kind of weird statement, only take it if it's, what's the direct quote? Medically necessary. Well, Mr. President, when do you think they take it? Maybe it's for aches and pains. It's been my experience that women are not only smarter than we are, but they're tougher than we are. And that women, I've never lived with somebody other than my mother and my late sister. I've never lived with somebody who's pregnant other than my mother in her late pregnancy with my sister. But it's been my understanding that most women pretty damn tough. And most of it is painful. The nausea, the ankles, the back, this, the that, I can't sleep. And they kind of suck it up. And it's been my experience that they take the Tylenol for the fever. And how do you explain the geographical, as she just pointed out, as Nicole just pointed out, how do you explain the geographical difference? That there are more people in California taking Tylenol than anywhere else? Maybe, but I don't know. And I don't think Robert Kennedy knows. And I certainly know Donald Trump doesn't know. And how does science explain the gender difference? How come 4 out of 100 boys get autism, but 1 out of 100 girls get autism? That's got nothing to do with Tylenol. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Who else you got?
Mario's on the line.
Mario, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hey, Ralph, how are you?
Good, Mario. What's going on, bro?
Good. Hey, so on the whole Tylenol thing, I mean, my kids are all, late 20s, early 30s, and that, when they were running a fever, doctor said, give them Tylenol. We gave them Tylenol, and then, beyond the normal teenage dumbass things, they never had an issue. So, I'm just kind of curious, what are they basing? Is this actual scientific data? Is this anecdotal data?
Yeah. Well, it's more.
That would be my question.
Yeah, and again, it's an association. It's not a direct causation. So they had this big news conference, but they really didn't say anything new other than the president telling women not to take it unless they need to take it, which seems kind of bizarre and confusing, but it is what it was.
Yeah. And then, Ralph, also you mentioned that how the state of California has the highest rate. Is that based on per capita?
Yeah.
Or,
No, it's certainly not based on the fact that we're the most populous state. Obviously, we'd be the most cases, but no, it's based per capita. We are the highest.
Okay.
Crazy.
I didn't know that number.
Yeah. Well, that's what they reported. That's what I got that from Fox. As a matter of fact.
Well, then it has to be right.
Well, no, but my point is they would be siding with the president and Robert Kennedy.
Well, I find lately Fox tends to go back and forth.
Well, this was whoever took Neil Cavuto's spot at 1 o'clock, the Will Cain, who is a sycophant of Mr. Trump's. So you're right. Fox does have some balance, but not Will Cain. No. He's got his head so far up the president's behind. It's horrible, which is why I don't like him. And I miss Neil Cavuto, who was pro-Trump, but was balanced. Will Cain is not balanced at all. But
well, that's another shocking thing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Always good to hear from you, Mark. Well, you got something else?
Can I ask you a football question?
Absolutely.
So, okay, I know I've told you in passing that I'm a long suffering Charger fan. So what we've had, our first 3 games are all against the AFC West.
All 3.
I've never seen that.
All
At the
three.
beginning of the year.
All three. You're 3-0 in the division. I mean, it's all but wrapped up. That's what I was just telling Randy. The Raiders are 1-2, and we're tied for second place because everybody in the AFC West, except for San Diego, is 1-2, including the defending AFC champions. It's weird.
And it's Los Angeles.
And it's
much to my chagrin.
Yeah, and it's Jim Harbaugh. I mean, this was.
Yeah.
Is anybody surprised by this? He wins everywhere he goes. San Diego State had a horrible program. He got in there and turned it around. Stanford, after Bill Walsh was there, had a very mediocre program. He went in and cleaned that up and won. He went to San Francisco, got him to a Super Bowl. He took a Michigan team. People forget this. Michigan's program was in the dumps. They hadn't beaten Ohio State in like 5 or 6 years. He goes in there, they win the national championship, and they beat Ohio State. The guy wins wherever he goes. That's why when we hire him, it broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. The guy wins wherever he goes, and he illustrates that coaching definitely matters.
Yeah, and Carroll, when Carroll was at SC.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He wins everywhere.
So,
He wins everywhere. All right, Mario, I got to fly, man.
Okay,
All right,
Dodgers.
late. Go Dodgers. I don't even feel good saying that. Quick side note, because I don't want to harp on. What do they call it when you get kicked out of a bar?
Like, there's an actual term for it?
Yeah. When you get kicked out and you're not allowed to come back. The guy's been.
Banned is the only word I'm thinking of.
No, there's like a numerical term. Come on. You should know this.
No, I was never on the bar scene that much. 86th.
What'd you say?
86th.
That's right, boy. 42 on the front, 44 on the back, 1 3-putt. I lost to Sam Brandon, who literally outdrives me by 100 yards. Literally, he outdrives me by 100 yards. I lost to him by 6 strokes. 86, baby.
How did I not see
I
this
am back. I am back. But I'm a coward, Chris. I'm an absolute coward.
Why?
I'm the
You wanna hang
big
it up now?
because I didn't play Sunday. Because I knew if I play, well, that was one of the reasons. Multifactorial why I blew off Mark Swain, which I felt bad because I told him he was going to come play. If I shoot 95 on Sunday, I'm not sitting here grinning right now. It would have ruined my weekend. B, I hung out with Arieh until about midnight, and I'd be up at 6, be at the golf course at 6:30, and I just wasn't feeling it. And the other thing, I was exhausted. You got to remember, that's the first 18 holes I played in 3.5 months. I got in 9. Oh, that's not true. I played 18 with Swain, and I shot a 95. But that's only the second round of 18 holes I played in 3.5 months, and my hamstrings were like, but no, the real reason is I'm a coward. I was afraid I was going to just blow it. But that front 9, that 42 I shot on the front, Sam shot a 40. He's out hitting me by 100 yards, and I lost to him by 2 strokes. It's the best 9 holes. Every iron I hit was clean. Just about every iron I hit was clean. And I made a triple bogey on 15. So it could have been like 82, 83. I'm a head case and literally didn't hit one good shot. Quick timeout. We'll talk about Kamala's new book that drops tomorrow. By the way, she's on Rachel Maddow tonight, and she's on The View tomorrow. I strongly suggest you watch those 2 shows, which you probably never watched before, probably will never watch again. But you might want to watch them tonight. I'll tell you why when you hear some of the more excerpts that have come out from her book. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, there's big water news afoot, and who better discuss it with than Lois Henry from sjvwater.org will do exactly that and back that up with state-of-the-art news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part, they accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Well now, this is embarrassing. I used to run around Kern County like a summer queen, buzzing through barbecues, laying eggs and bird baths and potted plants, spreading West Nile like party favors. But this year, y'all got smart. You dumped your standing water, you shut your windows, you called Kern Mosquito so many times, I got evicted. Unbelievable. But listen here. Don't get excited just yet. I don't go into hibernation till November. That means there's still time for a comeback, baby. So please, let that kiddie pool turn green. Forget the insect repellent. I double dog dare you. Or keep doing what you're doing. Visit kernmosquito.com. Keep dumping out those containers and ruining the rest of my year. Whatever. Bless your overachieving little hearts.
KernMosquito.com. Free county mosquito services. That's KernMosquito.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Lump, what do you ask me if it's good? What are you talking about?
Burger, maybe?
Yeah, but how did you know I was eating a burger? Was I on camera when I was eating that burger?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was pretty good. We had the, what'd they call it? The
butter burger?
Uncrustable.
Oh, that.
Isn't that what that was? The Uncrustable burger with the peanut butter and jelly?
No, what you're eating right there? No.
Yeah.
No.
That was
from
just a
MB2.
burger? Oh, that was just a burger with peanut butter and jelly on it.
Yeah, MB2 dropped by some food for us, which included their own peanut butter and jelly burger.
Oh, okay. I thought
No,
it
the
was...
Uncrustable burger is literally 2 Uncrustables with a burger in between the two.
And there's peanut butter and jelly in the Krusty.
Inside the Uncrustable, yeah.
Yeah, Uncrustable. Yeah, that's what I thought that was. But yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, what's wrong? Who doesn't like peanut butter and jelly? A little weird, and I had a cold. I'm about to try the mac and cheese. I just warmed it up. I'll have that at the top of the hour before I go on my walk. 842-5376, 842-KERN. I want to get to Kamala's book, but there's still a couple of things I want to talk about with Jimmy Kimmel and this firing and how the affiliates are going to determine his future. Like I said, they're going to come begging for him to be on their affiliate tomorrow because the numbers will be incredible, and they will be for a little while. But then they'll get back to where they normally are because he's, as the president said, he's not very talented and he's not very funny. In the last month, his ratings dropped by 11%. And if you look at a graph, it goes straight down since COVID. Brandon Carr's an idiot among a whole, if you ask me, along with Bondi, along with Hegseth, along with Bobby, and who's the other one? Who's the other one? The FBI director. So I'm not surprised that this is coming out of these people. But what the left seems to ignore is that all these alleged kowtowings by these companies, whether it was Paramount or whether it was ABC or whether it was CBS with Colbert, they just, it's incredible how they can create their own narrative. Because let's remember, Paramount gave Trump $16 million over the editing of a 60-minute piece. See, they won't tell you that on The View. They won't tell you that on the left. That they had an interview with Kamala Harris, and they edited the piece to make her look better. That's the reality. And Paramount did what every company on the planet does. They paid to make it go away because they did not want to have to continue to adjudicate in the court of public opinion the fact that in the middle of a presidential election, they took an interview with a candidate and cut it up to make her look better. I've told you the story that many of you remember, and many of you may remember the attorney, Stan Simron. He was a great attorney. Got a judge off who's having sex with a girl in his office. Not Stan's office, his office, the judge's office. But Stan Simron, I was doing television at the time, would never do a taped interview. He said, I don't do it. I'll do it live. We'll do it live, but I will not do it on tape. Why? Because he knew I or some other producer would be in there cutting it up to make it look like whatever we wanted to make it look like. People forget that. That's kind of a big deal, Paramount. When they talk about the $15 million settlement in the defamation case with ABC and George Stephanopoulos, what they won't tell you is that George Stephanopoulos went on the air, who's never had any journalism experience. Remember, they put him on television because he was George Stephanopoulos. He never walked by a J school. He never did news. He was a political guy. Stephanopoulos went on the air and said that Trump was found civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll. The only problem with that statement is it's a lie. It is completely legally inaccurate. Stephanopoulos should have been fired. People get fired for less. You can't go on television and get it wrong. If Jim Scott goes on the air tonight and he's got a tremendous story and he breaks it and it's wrong, they're not going to fire Jim, don't get me wrong. But wouldn't his credibility with you all drop just a skosh? If I come on here and say something stupid that is just absolutely incorrect, doesn't my credibility go down? And if I got sued for defamation, wouldn't Mr. Brandon just give them some money and make it go away? That's what the left won't tell you. Stephanopoulos either lied or he just got it horribly wrong. And in the case with Colbert, he got fired the day after he went on national television on his show and blasted his boss for paying the $60 million for the 60 Minutes case. So let me ask you a question, liberal Democrats. What if you went on Facebook today and talked smack about your boss? Would you be shocked that you got the pink slip the next day? See, these are all these tiny little facts that the left never wants to deal with. That Kimmel lied and said that the shooter was MAGA. He was not. Stephanopoulos either lied or said something completely and totally inaccurate. Stephen Colbert bagged on Paramount, his parent company, And everybody's scratching their heads as to why these people got into trouble? Give me a freaking break, would you please? And now, again, the Kimmel is back, and he's going to have 10 million viewers tomorrow night. The excuse that the government forced this is dead. I don't want to hear it ever again. Kathy Abernathy joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM.
Oh, man. Now my knee is bugging.
KERNradio.com.
I don't think that's not uric
News
acid.
this hour from
Oh.
Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Jimmy Kimmel is returning to his late night post.
ABC said on Monday that Jimmy Kimmel Live would return to its airwaves on Tuesday, ending an impasse that began last week. The Walt Disney Company, which owns ABC, said in a statement, quote, "Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production of the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country." The statement said, quote, "We've spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday." Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The White House is backing border czar Tom Homan amid bribery allegations. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Responding to media reports that Homan accepted $50,000 during an undercover FBI operation last year, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the president's border czar did not take the money.
The White House and the president stand by Tom Homan 100% because he did absolutely nothing wrong and he is a brave public servant.
She accused the Biden administration of engaging in entrapment. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A deal to keep TikTok going in the United States is apparently in the Trump administration's sights. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump expects to sign a deal on TikTok's future this week.
Under the terms of this deal, TikTok will be owned by a majority of American investors and controlled by a board of directors with extensive national security and cybersecurity credentials.
Among the organizations picked to handle TikTok is Oracle. The Secret Service arrested a man on a charge that he shined a laser pointer at Marine One while President Trump was aboard the helicopter. Jacob Winkler is charged with a felony punishable by a maximum prison sentence of 5 years. More at townhall.com.
The Federal Reserve just cut interest rates, and that could be big news for the price of physical gold and silver. That's why Advantage Gold invites you to call 800-741-GOLD. Call now and you'll get your free gold and silver information kit, and you could qualify for up to $10,000 in free gold and silver with your IRA or 401k rollover. Advantage Gold has been ranked the #1 gold company in America for the last 10 years, and with the U.S. dollar facing serious devaluation, now is the time to act. We've partnered with former IMF chief economist Kenneth Rogoff. And when you call 800-741-GOLD, you'll also receive his best-selling book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, absolutely free. Gold and silver are real, tangible assets that have protected wealth for centuries. Advantage Gold helps you move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals, tax-free and penalty-free. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-4653 now. That's 800-741-GOLD.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. 2 men have been arrested for alleged possession and distribution of child pornography.
No, I didn't. Oh, well, my buddy was
arrested on Karma Court, north of Pacheco Road, east of Monitor Street Sunday morning. Both are in custody and set to be arraigned tomorrow.
It was funny.
2 people died over the weekend after a crash on Highway 65 in Formoso Road. It happened when a 76-year-old man driving a 2016 Honda Fit heading east on Formoso Road went into the intersection with Highway 65.
saying, you got to come over to
55-year-old man driving a
Energy
2014 Freightliner heading south on 65 collided with the Honda driver's side. The Honda veered out of control and ended up on the east dirt shoulder. The tractor trailer lost control, hitting the dirt and overturned. The driver of the Freightliner was hospitalized with minor to moderate injuries. The man driving the Honda and his 66-year-old female passenger did not survive the crash. Officials say drugs or alcohol were not a factor. Kern County Sheriff's deputies were on the lookout for an inmate facing a life sentence who escaped custody at Kern Medical over the weekend. According to
Cater
KCSO,
down here.
23-year-old Francisco Garcia has been
He goes,
convicted on multiple
Mike Area?
charges,
You mean Big
including 2
Mike's
counts
Raging
of attempted
Barbecue?
homicide.
I go, yeah,
Kern
exactly.
County
She goes,
DA's office
"He's our
say
caterer."
Garcia, who is a
And
rap
I'm like,
artist,
I
is
look in the
facing
back,
80
and
years
there's
to
Mike
life
and all
in
the
prison.
boys. They're catering just
Bakersfield
that.
police are asking
So I
the
got to hang out
community's
with
help to
them.
track down a missing 15-year-old
And then
boy.
just hung
Chase
out all night
Jackson
long.
hasn't been seen since
And
last
then ran
Friday
into-
when he was spotted in
This
the
was Friday.
9300 block
Went
of
and saw
Manatee
Corey
Avenue.
Kent.
He has no history of running
I
away,
don't
so
know.
he's considered at risk. His pictures are
country
on
guy.
Bakersfield
He's pretty
Police
good.
social media. Anyone who knows
Then we went to
anything
Red
is
Pepper
asked to
Cafe.
give them a call.
And I ran
Bill
into-
Robbins in the KERN newsroom
And I
with
ran
news
into a
every
girl
half hour or when it breaks
who I used
on
to
News
date
Talk
about
96.1 and AM
Okay.
1180
So she's
KERN.
50 now.
What do you think? This is the army where you shoot them a mile away?
But we
You
had a
gotta get up close like this. But bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
You saw a lot of people.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the
My
call.
house is
You understand
clean.
me? You hear me?
House is
Call from
clean.
an outside line. I mean
He's
it.
happy.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com.
And I go, what? What about back
Now,
in the day?
the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Monday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. Still lots to do. I still haven't gotten into Kamala's book. We'll talk about that. Coming up in the 5, we'll talk. Gavin Newsom is making big news for good and for bad. He's banning ICE agents wearing masks. However, he did sign SB 237. We might even get into that with our next guest. And we got a ton of sports. We'll get through week 3 in the NFL, where the Bears beat the pants off the Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles had a dramatic comeback, the likes of which I've never seen before. And at the same time, Tampa Bay won in almost a similar fashion. And who else got beat? Was it the Rams? That was the Ram-Philly game, huh?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that was the game with the block and the guy who
Two
blocked
blocks
it,
back to
picked it
back.
up. And in the Jet game, the Jets almost came back where their guy blocked a kick and ran it back for him. But the Jets can't stop a runny nose. So Baker Mayfield got the ball back and quickly scored a field goal, and that was that. But I felt bad. I really did. Because you see Aaron Glenn, when they scored the touchdown, he was going crazy. And I was like, Aaron, there's a minute 45 left.
Too much time on the clock.
Yeah, you're the Jets, bro. There's a lot of time left. But it is a Monday.
Get your motor running.
Head on the highway. Kathy's looking for adventure. Professor Kathy Abernathy. How are you, Professor?
Thank you. You failed to mention Cardinals beat the Brewers.
Is that right?
Like,
So
who
now you're
cares?
only 17 games out, or whatever it is.
I think it's 16 maybe.
Yeah,
I'll
I
have
don't
to
know.
check tonight. They probably lost since then.
Well, I'm not very optimistic about my Dodgers.
Really?
Yes,
Well,
we've.
they sunk, huh? Well, the Padres.
I mean, we're
pulling it
still
off?
no. We're still up on the. We got a 3-game lead on the Padres. We're not worried about that. It's the playoffs, and we start playing really good teams. We just don't have a bullpen. We don't. We were up 1-0. We needed 3 outs for a win, and we lost 3-1.
I was
We're
reading a
just-
story about bunting. That
Bunting?
Yes, that San Diego was getting aggressive with that, and then
Really?
it's coming back as a strategy. Even
Small
though-
ball, they call that.
Yeah.
Advancing the runner. You get a guy on
And that-
first, bunt him to second. He steals third, and then you get a fly ball, sacrifice fly, and he
I didn't
scores.
realize it was not considered a cool thing to do for the last 15,
No,
20 years.
baseball has changed dramatically. They added some rules, so the stolen bases are coming back. But for years, stolen bases were not a factor in baseball.
Hmm.
And bunting and advancing the runner and doing things like that, what is called
But
small
that's
ball,
kinda
was
cool,
out.
I think that's kind of exciting, isn't it? I think.
Not as exciting, apparently, as the home run.
Well, yeah.
You know the phrase,
You can-
chicks love the long ball. And yeah, it's all about hitting home runs. I mean, look at Chris's MVP candidate. He's hit 50-something home runs, and he's hit like 235, which when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s, You'd be in Oklahoma City hitting brown balls and riding in a bus if you were hitting 235. You know what I'm saying? But it's
240.
240, excuse me. But it's a new league. And if you can hit home runs, they don't care if you get 2 hits a day, but if the 2 hits are home runs, they're good with that.
And let's not forget the 130 RBI.
Be quiet.
Yeah,
And no pitching. No pitching.
Okay, that's still not
No
a fair
pitching.
comparison.
That's right. Okay. What would you like to talk about, Professor? There's lots out there, Jack.
Yeah, there is. Lots going on. I was going to comment a little on Kimmel. I think people who think, well, Trump's butting in, let's remember ABC, Disney, they have a federal communications license. And that license gives them sole control that, you can't step on their station. They've got, access to the airways. That's a perk. That's a nice thing to have.
Right.
And it's worth money. And when you're suffering, which they are with Kimmel's show, it's not just because of this thing that happened. It's not doing so well. I think they saw an easy out because his ratings are really tanked. And that's not just him, a lot of late night TV because people are watching other things.
It's becoming obsolete.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon is next.
Right.
And he's not even that political.
Yeah.
But he's next. When it costs you $50 million a year to put on a show, and the show is making 10, and I'm just making these figures up, but these Colbert of the 3 was getting the biggest numbers, and his numbers were in the toilet. They were losing $40 million a year, and they were paying him $20 million. And I think the key word in all of this, if you understand television, it's affiliates. That's what it's about. And that's what nobody is talking about. Long before Nexstar made a decision, the affiliates were like, we are preempting this. We've seen what he's going to say, and we're not running it. Mm-hmm. That was long before Nexstar got involved. And his contract is up in January, so we'll see.
So we'll see.
We'll
I'm
see.
sure tonight there'll be a big viewership.
And will the affiliates stay on? Because you're right, the numbers are going to be out of the roof this week. They'll be out of the roof tomorrow. I'm going to be watching because I am interested. Is he going to double down? Is he going to apologize? How does he walk this tightrope?
Well, I was reading about what he's been doing the last year, just the last year. At least they said of even since September 2nd, that 90 minutes of the monologue. Now, you know how much monologue, what is it? 10
About
minutes
10,
maybe,
yeah, about
whatever.
10 minutes.
90 minutes since September 2nd has been ripping Donald Trump. Now that's attacking half your audience. I mean, it's not like he's unpopular with the masses. I want slim majority perhaps, but still. But why do that if you can't find humor somewhere else? And that's what he's doing so much of, that he's not going to get them back, even no matter what he says. So I think and then I guess the night of the night Charlie Kirk was shot, he airs again. I don't understand how he thinks it's this Kimmel thinks it's funny. But he airs that same night an excerpt from a person who took their own video, so some crummy cell phone video of a protest of the Palestinians. And it was saying Trump is Hitler. And so he's airing that night too. It kind of seems like a night that maybe we back off of that kind of stuff, maybe. Right. But not him. He just keeps going for it. And I think, if I was ABC, I'd say maybe he's back on because they said they've had some nice conversations. Yeah. I wonder if it was, this has to change. Because you're beating up half the country, you're not going to build ratings unless the other half decides we're all going to stay up and watch you and that sort of thing. So to put that out all the time, I think he also last week, he said he used the word grifted. I had to look it up to know exactly. That means swindled.
You don't know what a grifter is?
Well, I've heard of the grifter, but I haven't put it into being swindled. But I see the...
it's a term for swindle. The sting. They were grifters.
Yeah. But he's quoted Forbes magazine as saying that Trump had grifted his billions, his millions and billions, which wasn't true because Forbes didn't say that.
And that's what I've been talking about, that these guys are going on the air and lying.
Yeah.
Or just being inaccurate. Right. Stephanopoulos lied.
Right.
Lied. He was not civilly liable for raping Ejan Carroll. Colbert got booted because he bagged on his bosses. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if I sat here and ranted about Rogers Brandon and then scratched my head why the next day I got fired?
If you even made it out.
If I made it through the 6 o'clock show. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
and you just can't lie.
and his humor, Kimmel's humor, like Trump said, he's not very talented. His humor has been, he had a whole, I don't know, shtick about 9 minutes about this Mangione and, the sexy killer. I mean, if Oswald was handsome, would anybody then have said sexy killer?
Yeah.
And yet he's saying that again within days of this murder. And then he interviewed his staff who said, women want to be on his jury, and they're all laughing. And I just think, boy, I don't see how murder is a comedy.
And would have Americans put, let's make it relative to the 1960s, $100,000 on the books of Lee Harvey Oswald?
Right.
I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously.
That's right. That's stunning.
And that audio, we played it twice. I'm not going to play it again. But the Johnny Carson audio we have from the interview that I keep alluding to,
very good.
where he's with Mike Wallace, and he not only says, can you imagine Jack Benny doing that? Can you imagine Red Skelton doing that? The guys that I grew up admiring doing that? No. And he said the most profound thing he said is the problem with that, because you could do that and you could be successful at swinging people. But he said the most dangerous thing about that is you start to believe it. And you start to believe that you are like a preacher now instead of a comedian.
Entertainer.
And that's exactly what's happened. It's not about comedy. It's about taking shots at Trump. That's all it's about.
That's all it's about. That's what his show has been. And that's the monologue is where he does. And that's what grabs you to stay with the show. And boy, Johnny Carson, I love to watch it pops up on various things that I love.
Oh, I watch it all the time on Reels.
Oh,
I watched his monologue last night.
Gosh, he was good.
Yes, he was. Let me play something real quick. This is from Bill Maher. This was from this weekend, this Friday show. That's what I'm telling you. You gotta watch it. He's interviewing Tom Holcomb.
Oh.
And he admires the fact that Holcomb showed up to his obviously liberal show. Here's what he said about the Democrats and the Republicans.
First thing I have to tell you is that Republicans come here. I was saying on my show a couple of weeks ago, and people I saw from the reactions on the internet were shocked that I mentioned this. I should have said it before. They think I don't invite the Democrats. They think we never invited the Clintons. We invite them every week. They've never come. They think we didn't invite Kamala Harris. We invited her every week. She didn't come. AOC, these people don't come. The Republicans, they show up and they engage in the debate. And this, I know this is a little off your area, and we're going to get to your area, but do you really think that they're not being a little hypocritical about the free speech issue now?
Bill Maher saying Democrats are being hypocritical about the free speech issue now when they hide from going on tough shows where they can't say, oh, it's Fox, oh, it's Martha McCallum, oh, it's Bret Baier. It's Bill Maher who asks the tough questions of the left and the right. And isn't it funny that they all avoid his show like the plague? But as he points out, Tom Holcomb comes on. Trump was on it when he was running. The Republicans show up and have the debate. And that's really what Charlie Kirk was all about.
Yeah. No, that's what of all the political people that Republican Party has across the nation. This one man, Charlie Kirk, wanted to, I want to hear your point. I want to try to count it.
Prove me wrong.
Exactly. I don't know anybody that does that really as much as he does. And it's his show. Like he booked the school the other day.
Particularly on the collegiate level.
Yeah, right.
With a bunch of snotty nose. Oh, I'm so much smarter than my parents and I'm so much smarter than you.
I've watched some other videos that they took of him with, some freak students standing there making no sense, and he stays with it. It's just, he doesn't make an ugly face. He doesn't cut him off. So anyway, he wasn't someone that I think not Bill Maher, Jimmy Kimmel and others should have been so critical of because of all the people out there that are Republican conservatives. I thought he was the most willing to engage.
Yeah.
And not think that it's, that he felt I need to explain myself with real good input. So.
And where was the outcry from the left at Nexstar or at ABC or at Bob Iger or Disney?
Right. It was all
about
Trump.
Yes. But if you're saying that they capitulated, then why aren't you criticizing that?
Right.
If they knelt to the king and said, We need this merger. And like I said, Disney's about to try to buy the NFL channel. If they needed that so badly and they're kowtowing to Trump, where's the outcry from the left?
Right.
Where's the guts, Disney? Where's the guts, Nexstar? Defend your guy. But no, they don't want to say that. Why? Because they might need a gig from Disney. They might not want to, they want to go on The View. They might want to be on ABC. They might want to be on one of these 35 ABC affiliates. So they're quiet about criticizing them, but you can certainly take a shot at the government.
Right. That's what they're doing, when ultimately it's all about money. It's all about money. If those shows, if Kimmel's not making money, this was a gracious way they could get rid of him and put it on Trump. Unfortunately, I don't know if some other actors or stars or somebody got in their face and said, hey, you should give him another chance. I don't know. But we'll see.
He and Bob Iger, I hear, are extremely close. Extremely close. And Iger has to know that the ratings tomorrow are going to be ridiculous. I'd be willing to bet they up their advertising ratings this week.
Well, you mean the ratings that come out tomorrow? He's on tonight.
Yeah. No, he's on tomorrow. He's on tomorrow. He comes back tomorrow. Comes back tomorrow.
Well, good to know. I don't have to stay.
Yeah, no, you don't have to watch it tonight.
I can watch a Blue Bloods rerun. That's what I like to do.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of a lot to do about nothing other. And it wasn't Kimmel is not doing well. So we'll see whether he changes. They may have had us talk about back off is so much ripping half the country and, do something else. And of course, the day someone's shot and assassinated, I don't think there's any humor that works. So
no, we've never seen that. We've never seen any of this. We've never seen people revel, except for Mangione. So maybe it's the era, but we've never seen people revel in somebody's death. We've never seen somebody chronicle somebody's foibles on the day that they died here locally with a local attorney who.
But even with this Mangione, it's a bunch of idiots, 14 to 22-year-olds, mostly girls, and it's not really sophisticated people that I haven't seen that are coming out in droves for him. But
Jasmine Crockett and AOC were full-throated, and Omar were full-throated. I'm not voting on this resolution for a man who was evil and
they pulled some quote out somewhere, but I've never seen him say anything mean about a race or anything. Maybe there was something once someone misquoted. I don't know, but it's not worth, and it's certainly not worth right at the time. But well, we'll see. That the Congress is a pretty big odds. Now, Trump has another idea other than your Tylenol situation, which, by the way, a lot of us. And I don't mean other people don't have pain, but giving birth and being pregnant is not horribly tough or painful. Okay, I've done it. So you were saying how you think all of it, all women, it's so tough.
No, I didn't. I said the exact opposite.
Oh, I thought you said they deserve to have their Tylenol, or you didn't use the word deserve. I thought you were saying that. I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say a lot of us get right through it.
That's what I said. I said
no.
Let me repeat what I said then, so it's clear, because this happens a lot. What I said was 65% of women take Tylenol during their pregnancy. 65%. That's according to Fox. All my statistics today are according to Fox.
Okay.
They take it for the fever. And the point that I was trying to make, that most women get through the pain because they're tough. I said they're smarter than we are, and they're tougher than we are.
What fever? Pregnant fever?
In case you get a fever.
You mean a regular fever?
Yes.
I thought you meant
no, unless you get a fever during pregnancy. And I said they go through the swollen. I even went through the body parts. They even go through the swollen ankles. I've heard the bad back pain. I can't sleep. All my glands. The baby's resting this way. Boom, boom. I said they get through that. And I said, and maybe I'm wrong, because what do I know? And I prefaced it with, I don't know what I'm talking about. But my point is, I think they take it mostly because of the fever, because it's the only medication. You can't take Advil. You can't take Motrin. It's the only medication you can take for a fever. And the reason I have a problem with Bobby Kennedy trying to directly link that Tylenol and acetaminophen with autism is because we do know that the fever causes autism. We know that for a fact. So the only reason you would take the Tylenol is for the fever. So what comes first? The fever? Is that affecting the child, or is it the Tylenol? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the
well,
only reason you take the Tylenol is for the fever.
but how about all the years before the Tylenol and things? People were if women were having fevers, being sick from something. We still didn't have the autism.
I don't think that the Tylenol impacts you prior to pregnancy.
No. I mean, all those years that there wasn't Tylenol and all these medicines and people just struggled through a fever or whatever. Can you take an aspirin? Is that not allowed?
I'm not
Okay,
sure.
well,
I'm not certain.
I'm just saying there wasn't the rise in autism like how it's exploded in the last 25, 30 years. And these Tylenols and everybody are on your front of your TV every 12 seconds with every other drug ad right now. That's another thing I don't like. I don't like all the drug ads on TV. They're such happy face names of diseases I've never heard of with abbreviations and drugs that are like 7 consonants and 1 vowel at the end. Have you seen those? I don't know what they're about. But anyway.
So you think there is a direct link between acetaminophen?
I don't know, but I think it's interesting thought. I guess there's some doctor besides Dr. Robert Kennedy, some medical team that has come up with some of this. I haven't spent time studying.
Don't even say that out loud. He's
What?
not a doctor.
I know it. I'm making a joke.
But they don't know that.
Oh,
I
didn't
they
show
take you seriously. Because Kathy, let me tell you, you're not really the jokester. So the audience probably is taking that for you being serious.
That was being a joke.
Well, you're not the best joke.
I didn't show you, but the trouble is this is radio.
He is not a doctor by any means.
I'm going to show you, but your audience maybe.
You can show it to them if they can see your phone.
Real fast. They have to be real fast. But no, I've been running the Republican Fair booth, and we're taking pictures. We have a stand-up of Trump there, and so people come by and take their pictures with him. Well, this one man, his son just had a baby, or the wife of the son, and so he cut the umbilical cord, and so
you're not about to gross us out, are you?
Yes.
I really don't want to see this, Kathy.
Yes, you do.
No,
Yes,
I really
you
don't.
do.
Show it to them, Kathy.
I don't think they can see.
Yeah,
it.
they can.
Can they see this?
Go a little closer. Walk up to the
You're
camera.
gonna have to get closer to.
Yeah, walk up to the camera.
There you go, Kathy. Right up there, Kathy.
Oh Lord, no. Yeah, they can see it. No.
Baby, look at the man that's helping him. How good is that crappie? How good is that?
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty
We
good.
posted it on.
Did you guys see it? It's Trump in there with this. Okay, all right.
No, come on, that's good.
Yes.
His brother-in-law did that for him. But we posted on the Kern County Republican Party Facebook. You can see the picture.
You went a long way for that, Kathy.
I know I did. I'm sorry. People want to hear me talk politics, and here I'm doing it.
Yeah, you went a long, long way for that, boy, I'll tell you.
And then the other thing Trump's trying to do is he wants the immigration test to be harder. And you know my opinion about even in our country, our born in America people don't know nothing about even those questions on the immigration test. Now,
well, are they even taking the immigration test?
Well, not the 12 million that came in with Joe Biden, but under Trump's system, if we're going to go back to, I told you, I used to Google the site. Every year, immigration showed how many are they're allotting in from like 38 countries. Mexico had the most, 300,000 a year, and then it went down from there, every country, and that's how many legally would be processed.
Right.
And that, of course, has been out the window since Biden's 4 years.
Do they even teach civics?
Not well enough, because my point was when I was teaching at Taft College, and it's not reflection on Taft because people from all over Kern County go to it. I was teaching poli-sci, and I told the students you have to pass the immigration tests before you go around saying you took poli-sci from me. So I gave them the questions. I didn't give them all 30 questions. I gave them the answers. Then I gave them the test. And this was a few years ago. Pelosi was speaker. The question was, who's speaker of the House? And one of them wrote Tammy. That's all they wrote, just Tammy. How do you come up with that? And then this one to me is so significant about the way history's taught by reading a screen. The question was, Eisenhower was a general before he was president. What war was he a general in?
Oh my God.
Yes, Civil War.
No.
Yes, I'm not kidding you. So
the man was 140 years old when he served in the White House.
See, they don't know when he was president. They don't know when World War II is. My gimmick here, unless our schools are really doing a bad job, is when you had a history book, you saw the flow of history.
Yeah.
You know what was happening. When you read off a screen all the time, you're reading that. I just feel like even that would help than the way that we're learning now. It's all online, and none of it is a great history book. But I thought, wow, how little do people know?
Yeah, history has to be taught as a story.
Yes.
As a long,
One
winding
follows
story.
another. Everything makes sense in a way,
Yes.
tragic way. World War I, why it ended that way is why we ended up where we're at. Why Korea came, why Vietnam was such a, oh my gosh, we can't fight a war. So yeah, but that's what, so I made them take it again and again. They had to get at least 80% right. But isn't that, who's commander in chief? Wow, that blew them away.
They probably didn't even know commander in chief meant president.
They didn't even know we had, probably didn't know we had one. And
Didn't know it
so
was
they
a
came up
synonym.
with different speaker of the house or something.
Wow.
But, it's not that, like you said, there's 12 million that came in here that know none of it, but even our regular born in America citizens don't know these things. And that's why
sad.
when you heard if you listen to that Charlie Kirk on politics, he really does a good job giving the history.
Yeah. See you next week, Kathy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
News Talk 96.1.
When I do that, you got like 10 seconds.
KERN.
No. When I do that, you got 10 seconds.
With
That's
SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A
No
federal
kidding.
trial beginning in Amazon's hometown this week is set to examine whether the
That's
online
funny.
retailing giant tricked customers into signing
So
up
where's
for its
the
Prime
booth?
service and made it difficult to cancel after they did so.
On the
The
left?
Federal Trade
Yeah, I
Commission
didn't go
sued
there.
Amazon
Yeah,
in
that's where
U.S.
I went.
District Court in Seattle 2 years ago and has alleged more than a decade of legal violations.
Right.
ABC will reinstate Jimmy Kimmel's late night show after suspending it due to his comments about the assassination of conservative Charlie Kirk. The network announced
South. A motorcycle rider has died after a crash with a semi on South Union Avenue. Bakersfield police say it happened a little after 6 o'clock Sunday evening. Officers were called to the intersection of South Union and Welch Avenues. Arriving officers found the man who had been riding the motorcycle was badly hurt. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Tuesday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton show will break down everything in the White House moving towards a continuing resolution when it comes to the budget, what is the absolute latest there, and we will continue to track what is going on with the investigations into vaccines from RFK Jr. All that and more, Tuesday edition, Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. Live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Kamala's book finally drops tomorrow, and much like Jimmy Kimmel's initial ratings, she's gonna sell a lot of books. I'm gonna stay up tomorrow night to 11:30 to see Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm going to stop by Barnes and Nobles tomorrow and get her book. I got to do it. I did not want to put any money in this woman's coffers, but after reading, I read you some of the excerpts last week, Thursday and Friday, but some of these now are just incredible, and the people that she's targeting is inexplicable. Let me just read what David Axelrod said, who was Obama's guy and is considered one of the smartest political minds on the left. He said of Kamala's book, if there's a political strategy here, it's a bad one. There's an awful lot of grievances and finger pointing that really doesn't serve a political agenda. Because in the initial excerpts, and remember, many of these are released by the public relations department that's trying to sell the book from the publishing company. A lot of them come from just Washington Post, New York Times, reading it and assigning somebody to get the funky passages and get them out before the book is released. And now she has just really inexplicably, she's done one of either two things. She's either running for president in 2028 and she's going after all the potential rivals that she will have, because she's spoken badly about J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. She had some remarks about the governor of Philadelphia, of Pennsylvania, Shapiro. She basically showed her homophobic side with Pete Buttigieg. You remember what she said. Listen to this. And again, remember my thesis. And it's not something I cooked up. It's common sense. It's what we all know, really. Leadership is innate. You can acquire it by being put in different situations as you're growing up, but it's something within you. It's like charisma. You can't teach it. You can't learn it. You can't read about it. You're either one of those people when you walk into the room, everybody wants to talk to you, everybody is looking at you, or you're not. And leadership is the same way. Either a coach can get into a room and talk to 53 guys and get them to buy into what he's saying, or they can't. And he gets fired. And Kamala just really doesn't get it. And I don't think she's stupid. I think she's dumb. I think there's a big difference. I think people with high IQs do a lot of dumb things, but they're still intelligent. So I'm not going to say that she's stupid, because I don't believe that you can become the district attorney of San Francisco being stupid. I don't think you can become the attorney general of the most populous state in the country by being stupid. You can't get elected to the United States Senate, no matter who's helping you, no matter how much money you have, if you are stupid. Can you do all those things and be dumb? Yes. Can you be an articulate, good-looking, freckle-faced, intelligent, historical radio talk show host and still say and do dumb things? Yes. And that's what's happened to Kamala. But she's gone even more past dumb. She's gone on to homophobia. Listen to this. Pete would have been an ideal partner if I were a straight white man, but we were already asking a lot of America to accept a woman, a black woman married to a Jewish man. Part of me wanted to say, screw it, let's just do it. But knowing what was at stake, it was too big of a risk. Holy Toledo. Do you understand what she's telling America? I didn't have the guts to go with a gay man. And you know what? America won't elect a gay man. That's what she just said. And in my gut, I wanted to go with Pete, but I just didn't have the balls, literally and figuratively. Why would you want people to know that? Why would you want people to know that you lick your finger and you hold it up in the wind? And when the wind prevails this way, that's where you go. It's not based on your own leadership. It's not based on your own guts. Because if it's me, I don't give a damn if my vice president is Jazz McKay. I'm at the top of the ticket. Ralph Bailey's going to win this damn election. Vice presidents don't win you elections. They can lose you an election, as Tim Walz helped out in doing, but they don't win you an election. Hell, George Bush got elected with a guy named Dan Quayle. Really? Vice presidents don't mean a damn thing. Not anymore. They used to. Back in the day when Kennedy had to pick Johnson because Kennedy was an Irish Brahmin from Boston, and people in South Carolina and Texas and Georgia don't really like the Irish Catholic rich people from the North, not in the 1960s. Today, the fact that he was Catholic and rich from Boston wouldn't mean a damn thing in the South. But back then, you had to have a Southerner on the ticket, and the best Southerner at the time was Lyndon Johnson. Those days are over. Like I said, Bush won with Dan Quayle. Not only a knucklehead, but he's from the state of Indiana with all of its, 6, 7 electoral votes? Doesn't matter who the damn vice presidential candidate is, but the decision shows a lot about who you are. John McCain didn't get beat because he picked Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin didn't bring down that ticket. It was the idea that you picked this woman, and there were so many other people you could have picked. So now your judgment gets questioned. It's not the candidate himself, or her, in this case, herself. It wasn't the fact that she picked Tim Walz, and Tim Walz was this idiot bumbling, I'm a gun guy, but I don't know how to handle a shotgun. And let me show you what a man I am. Here I am fixing my car. It was the fact that Kamala picked him when everybody, even within the Democratic Party, knew that there were at least 3 or 4 guys that were much better. And the fact that she just flat out homophobically said, I couldn't chance it to take Pete. Well, of course, Buttigieg had a little something to say about that. Here's the former Secretary of Transportation.
Well, I was surprised when I read that. I just believe in giving Americans more credit for that. My experience in politics has been that the way that you earn trust with voters is based mostly on what they think you're going to do for their lives, not on categories. And I wouldn't have run for president if I didn't believe that.
Trump won because he said, I will get the border fixed. I will get Ukraine fixed. I will get the economy fixed. That's why people vote. Not because Pete was gay. Pete would have been a better presidential candidate than Kamala Harris. I cannot wait to read this thing. And now, if she is in fact running, which I don't think she is, even if she does, guess what? Guess who's got the target on their back? And presumably, being the last Democrat to get the nomination, she was probably going to have a target on her back anyway, because the media would have prompted her up as the presumed front runner, which isn't true. If the election were today and Kamala were involved, Josh Shapiro would be the front runner, followed by maybe J.B. Pritzker, and she might be a third or a fourth. This woman has never been a good candidate. She tried in 2020, couldn't get past the first caucus, which was in Iowa. And that's the only reason I think she might run again. Because now, because of Uncle Fluffy, where does the Democratic Party start? South Carolina, my daddy's home state, where my 2 uncles would line up to vote for Kamala Harris. Let me be honest. And maybe I shouldn't speak for my uncles, but I think a lot of the reason they would vote for her is because she is a Black woman. And there are a lot of other South Carolinians who would do the same. 27% make up the state. So maybe she thinks she can get off to a fast start, and maybe that's what this book is all about. Let me get the first shots in on these guys before I even get in the race. I don't know. But she has not made a friend of the Democratic Party. And like I said, history tells us very few people get 2 shots. Very few people. You can run as many times as you want. Reagan had to run 3 times. But once you get the nomination, you very rarely get it twice. And in fact, there's only been a handful of people in history that have been that. Grover Cleveland got it again. He won. He lost. They gave him the nomination again, and he won a 3rd time. Same thing that Trump just did. Won, lost, and won again. Nixon lost in 60. He was the Republican nominee. Got renominated in 68. William Jennings Bryan got renominated a couple of times. Adlai Stevenson stupidly got nominated twice. I've told you that story. Harry Truman had left in 48. He was the kind of, I don't know, call him presidential emeritus. He was the guy that they would go to, the Democratic Party, for advice. And his advice in 52 was Adlai Stevenson. He's brilliant, which he was. And they ran him. Ike, Dwight Eisenhower, kicked his behind. It's now 55. They go back to Truman. Truman says, whatever you do, don't run Adlai Stevenson again. Did you not watch what happened in 52? And they renominated him. And he got beat even worse than he did in 52. So you're looking at maybe 5 or 6 people in American history who have won the nomination, lost the general election, and got renominated. Maybe this is an extraordinary situation. Maybe that's why she titled the book 107 Days. What am I supposed to do in 107 days? But lady, you've been a bad presidential candidate every time you've ever run. And the only time she won in California, the only reasons she won in California is because she was a Black woman and she had a very, very powerful little boyfriend named Willie Brown who helped her out along the way. But these attacks on these guys and this, let me just end on this note. Again, I think I've said this before. Imagine not even Donald Trump. Let's don't use Trump. Who's not president? Imagine J.D. Vance is running in 28. And he said something like, I was going to pick, I can't think of a prominent Republican gay man, but let's just say there's a prominent Republican gay man in the Republican Party. And J.D. Vance says, I was going to pick him, but America wouldn't vote for him. The left would be screaming homophobia as loud and as full-throatedly as they possibly could. What do you mean a gay man? What do you got against gay man? You don't give America enough credit? It's 2025, JD. What are you talking about? But Kamala can write this in a book. And my God, I almost did it. But the stakes were too high. I couldn't roll the dice that America's not ready for a Black woman. And a Black woman who's married to a Jewish man. I bet half of America doesn't even know that guy's Jewish, first of all. And again, as I've said redundantly on this show, I'm pretty sure somewhere I read that in 2016, that the person that got the most votes was a woman. I'm pretty certain I read that. Now, Donald Trump outslicked her and campaigned in the bigger electoral states while she blew off Wisconsin, Minnesota. I don't need these. We're going to win. We're going to win, everybody. Oh, this is what I'll leave you with as we go to break. I thought this was funny. The night of the election, Kamala's staff cooked up dozens and dozens of cupcakes with Madam President on the cupcakes. And about 9 o'clock that night, they got a bunch of young Democrats to get butter knives and smooth off the Madam President part, and they gave them away to the volunteers. I don't know, I thought that was funny. They were convinced they were going to win that night. Not probably as much as Hillary in 2016, but they were convinced, which I find dumb. They're not stupid, but they're pretty damn dumb. Madam President, no gay. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a busy Monday, and that was Nick Ragone who just texted me. It's Ryder Cup week. We'll talk to him at some point this week, but let us find out when he wants to come on the program. And we'll be right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, or streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.
Messmaker?
Yeah.
Tuesday's Armstrong and Getty Show, the details behind Trump's announcement that they may have found a link between autism and Tylenol. Also, it's going to be America against the world at the UN this week, and we'll have the details.
And why marriage is increasingly just for the affluent in America. It's a very strange cultural change. Hard to say how we got here. That and the news of the day on the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You know that I have issues with growing old. I really do. I'm struggling with it. But the reality is retirement at some point is right around the corner. And that's why I'm invested with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, and have been for almost a decade. I just can't rely on my 401k. I don't want to rely on Social Security. So I've invested with this man and this company for over a decade. And again, as we talk about, they're all about retirement. It's been my joy to turn other people on, including one of our traffic department staffers, Lisa, and her husband, who's facing retirement. They're a new client with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Call Daniel, 395-9400, 395-9400, or just make sure to tune in on Thursdays. He's here every Thursday, 4:30. Daniel Petrie and the folks at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future, option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside.
What else is
just
in there?
by buying
Anything
the
else
gas you're
chewable?
already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up.
mozzarella
I've already
sticks
made around
didn't look
$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway.
There was
Why
more
not
than that.
get
There was
real
more than
cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help
no, they
pay
look
for a
pretty red,
vacation
too.
later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every
Yeah.
time you buy gas. Use code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1783. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1783. That's 800-575-1783. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Louis Prima. We'll be talking with Nick Ragone on Thursday. I just confirmed. He just texted me. And he may be even watching. Hi, Nick. Live from Philadelphia. Because the Ryder Cup begins on Friday from Bethpage Black in New York. Ran into Alan Cornejo. I have a bad habit of telling people's business, but this is good business. He's going back. His two daughters. Don't you know the Cornejo girls?
Well, I grew up with Dominic, the son who passed away from cancer.
Alan and the son? No, that's Alan's brother.
Yeah, it's Alan's brother.
Okay. Oh, his nephew.
No, not Alan. No.
Yeah.
I grew up with Dominic. I'm sure I knew the daughters as well to a point, but not as much.
Well, they were pretty damn good golfers. In fact, they both played collegiate golf. And I think he was telling me, I probably have this wrong, but like 2 or 3, maybe 4 years ago, one of the daughters, or maybe both of them, applied for jobs at Bethpage Black, where the Ryder Cup is being performed. And 6 months ago, she got a letter. She's accepted. So she's going to be working the event. She'll be one of the girls either carrying like the scoreboard that says what the group that you're following is shooting,
right?
Or who knows what she might be doing, but she's going to be working the event. So Alan is taking the other daughter and his wife, and they're all got an Airbnb and they got tickets to Bethpage and they're going to watch Ryder Cup. I'm like, man,
good for him.
People are living my life. You know what I'm saying? God, a week in New York. This has got an Airbnb about 40 minutes from Bethpage Black, which is one of the best known golf courses in America. It's considered one of the toughest courses in America. In fact, there's one course, I think there's several courses at Bethpage. And the one that the pros play, obviously every golfer wants to play what they see on TV. And they literally have a warning that I think it's like something like, and if there's a golfer out there, let me know, tighten me up on this, because I'm guessing. But I think it's like, if you're not a 12 handicap or below, don't play this course. You're wasting your time. Because I'd get out there and shoot 120 is what they're saying. But again, it starts on Friday with rounds of foursomes and 4-ball matches. Foursomes is alternate shot, which means if Chris and I are partners, Chris hits the drive, then I hit the second shot, Chris hits the third shot, I hit the putt or the fourth shot, and then just alternate shot. Makes sense. And then the 4-ball is best ball, where if Chris makes birdie and I make par, our team makes a birdie. We do well there. We do horribly in the alternate shot. I don't know why, but America has done horribly. And of late, we've just done horribly with Ryder Cup. I think the Europeans have won when we used to literally dominate every year. That's why it went to Europe. It used to only be, no, it used to be just Europe. Now it's Australia and they've other countries, Ernie Els, South Africa. Now it's almost the world against us, but it used to just be Europe. And we dominated, absolutely dominated. But now Spain is involved and other countries that used to not be. And we do well in the individuals on Sunday. We do horribly in the alternate shot, and we do okay in the best ball. But the good news is we've won the last 2 times on American soil. The bad news is the Europeans or the world has won, I think, like 11 out of the last 13 or something like that, something crazy. So we'll talk to Mr. Ragone on Thursday when Mr. Turnipseed and Daniel Petrie join us as well. You got a text message before we get into the 5?
I do. This one just says, Ralph, you could see if you can get the book and check it out from the library.
Well, I'd rather own it so I could write it and grab excerpts that I would read to you guys. She really is amazing. God, amazingly dumb. Quick time out. Final hour of the broadcast, TRBS on a Monday. I would stick around if I you.
This is AM 1180 KERN, Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM, Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump announces new Food and Drug Administration recommendations on Tylenol use while speaking from the Roosevelt Room of the White House, accompanied by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and other administration officials. President Trump says pregnant women should avoid Tylenol.
I think you shouldn't take it, and you shouldn't take it during the entire pregnancy. They may tell you that toward the end of the pregnancy, you shouldn't take it during the entire.
The Trump administration has been under immense pressure from Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s diverse Make America Healthy Again movement to provide answers on the causes of the marked increase in autism cases in the U.S. in recent years. Jimmy Kimmel Live is returning to late-night TV after a controversial suspension.
Kimmel was suspended last week after saying this about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
ABC says we have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy and reached the decision to return the show. FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr denies he threatened to revoke ABC's local station licenses because of what Kimmel said. I'm Ed Donahue.
French President Emmanuel Macron says France is officially recognizing the state of Palestine. The move came during a UN conference chaired by France and Saudi Arabia, aimed at generating new support for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 66 points, the Nasdaq rose 157, the S&P advanced 29. More at townhall.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865. 800-515-1865.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. The weather was quieter over the weekend than for the previous week, but conditions for the next several days are more uncertain. The first areas of low pressure help taper off the edge of Tropical Storm Mario and move it northward. The next spoke of energy could pull in more moisture from the newest tropical system that was moving south.
Brian,
the maps show an area of enhanced clouds and thunderstorms off the southern tip of Baja. Forecasters will work to refine predictions on where the system could be going and how much it will affect the county. A motorcycle rider has died after a crash with a semi on South Union Avenue. Bakersfield police say it happened a little after 6 o'clock Sunday evening. Officers were called to the intersection of South Union and Welch Avenues. Arriving officers found the man who'd been riding the motorcycle badly hurt. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The driver of the semi stayed behind. According to police, speed and impairment were not factors. The long narcotics investigation leads to 4 people being arrested. The investigation targeted downtown Bakersfield and the homeless population. Officers say that last Wednesday, Eric Hinton was arrested for distributing meth. Surveillance reportedly showed 3 others arrested for transport and possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. Detectives recovered
So I
meth,
guess not every
MDMA
ticket
pills,
says
suspected
24 grand.
fentanyl, as well as
I guess
digital
that
scales,
was
packing materials,
32.
14 firearms, and a large amount of cash believed to have come from drug sales. Polo Community Park was the scene of a freedom of speech ride following the death
his
of
mama
Charlie
pays
Kirk. Those who participated
to
dedicated their vehicles with American flags. One of the
That's right.
organizers, Pastor
And
Angelo
the only reason
Frazier,
you know
said
that-
that there were
only
those
reason
who
you know that
attempted to murder
is
free
because
speech last week. They say
he
no
got
to that.
into it with
I'm Bill Robbins in the
a
KERN
girl
newsroom
that
with
quit,
news every
but
half
he's
hour or
insisting
when
he
it
got
breaks
fired.
on News
She
Talk
never went to Casey's
96.1
Steakhouse.
and
She
AM 1180
telling
KERN.
all the tea.
What do you think, this is the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
She's like this now.
It's the
She telling
Ralph
anybody,
Bailey Show
everybody she can
on News Talk
about his issue.
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I know.
Leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Monday, 22nd day of September. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com. Coming up, we'll talk about Gavin Newsom being in the news for a couple of reasons. Local legislators, local elected officials were celebrating Mr. Newsom earlier today. I'll explain why. And at the bottom of the hour, we'll talk a little sports. The Baltimore Ravens about to take on the Detroit Lions in a pretty good Monday night matchup. And there were some incredible games over the weekend. And I even have some Clayton Kershaw audio. It was Clayton Kershaw's weekend, his final homestand as a Dodger. And I've got some great audio from Vince Scully. The first night that Clayton Kershaw took the mound at Dodger Stadium, wearing what number, Chris Burdick? What number did Clayton Kershaw begin with?
Oh, that's a good question.
The only hint I'll give you is wasn't 22.
Oh,
Wasn't 22.
I don't know. Around that area, though?
No, wasn't even close. It's a weird number.
I'm going to make a random guess here and say 76.
Something like that, 54.
54? Okay.
And I saw that, and I was just like, God, that looks bizarre. I don't know when he switched to 22.
Baseball is probably the only sport, though, where your number's not really as coveted. No one really cares about your number that much.
And now that I listen to, I've got a couple of things of audio. I don't know which one I'll play. I'll definitely play Vince Scully on his first day because Vin goes through his biography.
The only thing you sent me, by the way, was the strikeouts thing.
Okay. Okay, good. But Vin, he grew up in Dallas and he just tells his whole life story in a half an inning. It's just brilliant. But I gave you the sulfur. No, I gave you the molasses, my 86, 42 on the front, 46 on the back, with a triple bogey on the par 5, where I just mentally, I made an unbelievable bogey on 14, and I went to the par 5, 15, thinking, scared to death, thinking, I'm going to screw this up. I'm having the round of my life, because I shouldn't have made 5 on 14. I sunk like a 15-foot putt out of nowhere to save bogey, which if I run that by, it could have been 7. It was supposed to be a 6, my first double of the day. And I was like, I'm going to screw this up. And I didn't hit a good shot on the par 5, and I made 8. In fact, I picked up. And with my when you're on a handicap, you can only take a triple. And I think I was hitting my 6th shot. So I would have been on in 7. And even if I one putt, it's still an 8. So I just said, Sam, just give me an 8. I played with Sam Brandon, by the way, who is a stick. Sam shot an 80, and he was pissed. And he really should have shot a 74 or 75 because he missed like 4 or 5 putts. He lipped out 2 birdie putts, and he missed 3 par putts that were dead in the jar, and he just left him short, where he was like snake bit. He literally hits the ball 100 yards past me. Literally. Because I was like, God, you're like half a football field past me. And he's like, let's be honest, Ralph, that's like a football field. And I was like, yeah, okay, shut up. F you, Sam. We literally, now, don't get me wrong. Sam hits the ball 280, 293 bills, literally. Literally. He's like a 4 or 5. But that's the molasses, my 86. I'm very proud of that. I really, really am. I haven't shot that low in 4 or 5 years. But here, as they like to say in the South, I gave you the molasses, now here's the sulfur. So Friday night, I should not be telling this. And by the way, if you're bothered by this, I'm sorry that I talk about my sex life. It's an adult show. If you don't like it, then go listen to somebody else. So it's Friday night. The show is over. Quan Louis, really good guy, whose wife works for Kern Energy. They had a party going on, a little pavilion off to the left. And he kept saying, you got to come to this party. And I said, well, Quan, I got to go find my buddy Mike Arier. He's catering out here, and I got to go find him and hang out with him. And Zucchini and his wife are going to be there, and Aubrey and Mikey V and all, some of my friends. And I said, well, just come to our party first. And so I go, all right, I'll go for a minute, then I'll go see Mike. And I go to Kern Energy, and I met some people that I knew, that I had hung out with before, and did all the pleasantries and bop, 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 bop. And I said, well, I got to get going because I got to go find my buddy Mike Arier. And the woman was sitting there, she goes, Mike Arier from Big Mike's Raging Barbecue? And I said, yeah. She goes, Ralph, he's catering this event. And I was like, what? And I looked back in the back, and there's Mike and Mikey V and Chris Zucchini. And I'm like, oh, great. I'll be right back. And went back and hung out with them. And after that, now it's like 6:30, almost 7. And Aubrey has 2 tickets to go see Corey Kent. And she's like, you want to go with me? I've got nobody to go with. And I got this pass and boop, boop, boop. I'm like, why not? Why not? So I go. Corey Kent was pretty good. We had a couple pops. And somehow we ended up at the Red Pepper. And this is where the drama begins. We're at the Red Pepper. And I see a woman that I used to hang out with, let's say. It wasn't never serious, but we hung out quite a bit. And she's about 12 years younger than I am. So I was probably 45 and she was probably 33 in her early 30s, and I was probably in my mid 40s. And so I saw her, and I had been drinking and she had been drinking. It was a very festive occasion. So I thought, Chris, this is my lucky night. I see an old flame and she's not with anybody. And Lydia was at the house Wednesday, so the house is clean. Oh, this is the perfect scenario. So I say, Cindy, her name is not Cindy. Cindy, why don't we hang out? I don't have to go back with Aubrey. I'll hang out. We can go back and hang out like we used to. And she says to me, oh, Ralph. Now, when anybody starts a sentence with, oh, Chris, you're screwed. You're screwed.
Yeah.
It's like in the South when they say, bless your heart. If you're in the South and somebody says, bless your heart, they have pity for you. Like if they see a baby, isn't my baby cute? And they say, bless its heart. That means your baby ugly. Okay? And it's the same thing if they start with, oh, Ralph. And with drama, Chris, with flair, she looked me dead in the mug and said, and for the viewers who get this, oh, Ralph, you're so far out of my age group. And I said, what? What are you talking about? What about back in the day and Friday nights? We're like, and it was like, and I'd be and you'd be in my, and it was like, what you talking about? And she said, Ralph, I have 25-year-olds hitting on me. And I just said, can't compete with that. Can't compete with that. And I mean, you talk about feeling 2 inches tall. She did not say, Chris, you're out of my age group, Ralph. She said, with hands flaring, you're so far out of my age group. I swear to God, I walked out of Red Pepper like this. It's just little old Ralph. Gotta go home now. It's past my bedtime. It's 10 o'clock. I got to get some sleep.
Where'd this game come from?
Oh, so far.
Now, hold on. Can
out
I
of
ask
my
'cause
age group.
I will not ask the specific number, but what's the difference between you?
That's what I just said, like 12.
12?
She's like
That's
50.
not that bad.
Well, that's why she added, because she does look like she's 35.
That's fair.
She's like, I've got 25-year-olds hitting on me, which means I'm sleeping with kids. You think I'm gonna deal with an old man?
Which is the other
And
thing.
what's
I'm
crazy
like,
is,
yeah.
when I was 45, you didn't know me, but I was a fat tub. Because that's what got my brain thinking. When she saw me, she was like, "Oh my God, you look amazing! Oh, give me a hug! Oh, you look great! God, I haven't seen you in so long. You look great, really." So at that point, I was like, "It is on like Donkey Kong." So far out of my age group. I'm like,
Yeah, but again, if she's entertaining 25-year-olds, like that says something too.
how can I compete with that? Viagra can't even compete with that. What are you gonna do? I'm having a really tough time. With this age thing. I really am. And I never thought I'd be that guy. I really didn't. Because I always saw my mother in her 50s and her 60s. And my mother's 83. You could never guess that. If you didn't know my mother and she was standing in this room, you would say that's a 70-year-old woman. Maybe. And she's 83. So I thought I had the genes. I thought I had the complexion for the protection. Because I had a little melanin in my skin. And what happened to black don't crack and all that nonsense? Well, I'm cracking. Apparently. Cracking hard. Because I haven't even finished the molasses part. I've lost a listener. Although he's probably listening. Tell me if I'm in the wrong. So Ari and I are having dinner at Bill Lee's. And we're watching the Dodger game. And there's a man across the way. And as I start to root, he starts to root. And believe it or not, and I swear this is true, I can have a sense when somebody knows me and knows who I am. Because I would clap and then he would clap and he was like, "Hey, aren't we doing great?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're doing great. I'm just trying to watch the ball game." So I come back from the bathroom, he sent me a drink. And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." So now he gets up, he's an older gentleman. And I can tell right from the get-go, he's a little weird. Now he gets up and he sits next to me. And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." And I don't mean to be rude. And if you're a listener, feel free to come up and say hi and put a face to the name. We can have a conversation. But I'll be blunt with you. I don't want you coming and sitting next to me at the bar and I'm sorry. Maybe I'm rude, maybe I'm wrong. So he's just going off. And the first thing he said to me, that's how I tie it in. "God, you're much older looking than I thought." That was the first thing he said to me. Now, this is the night after I just got shut down. So I'm now ready to punch this guy in the mug. And then, you know what else he brought up? The second thing he brought up? The jaw. He said something like, "Well, at least I'm not going to punch you in the face like happened to you at Casey's Steakhouse." So he's a loyal listener. But I'm just sitting there thinking, you just insulted me. And then you brought up one of the most traumatic events literally in my entire life. And so I'm kind of ignoring him, trying to watch the ball game. And he goes, "Well, man, I thought you'd be friendlier." I said, "Sir, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to watch the ball game. We're losing." And he said, "Well, then the hell with you." And I said, "The hell with me? You came and sat next to me uninvited. You called me old looking and then brought up a really traumatic situation in my life for reasons I can't figure out. Something that happened 3-4 years ago. But I don't know whether that makes me understand that you listen or why that." I was just like, "The hell with you." And I said, I'm sorry. And I shook his hand and everything. But the problem with radio and local television is, and I tried to explain this to Jazz McKay, and I tried to explain to Jay. I don't know if I talked about you with JR. Who did I talk about it with it locally? I can't remember. Anyway, it's not the number of people that are listening. They do ratings through a diary. It's based on the people that will actually put your name down and put KERN. That guy is listening right now, and he's going to listen, and he's going to listen. But if he gets a diary, he's going to be like, to hell with him. I put in Chris Burdick is what I listen to on ESPN 1230 from 3 to 6. You know what I'm saying? He is never going to put my, to hell with you? To hell with you. Am I obligated to like entertain people when I'm out and about?
No, I've always said that. And unfortunately, I feel like COVID's kind of made it worse that people really don't understand the social bubble thing.
And I think when people buy you a drink, they think that gives them license to bend your ear.
Yeah.
And I was out with my boy. We were having a great time. We're watching the ball game. And I just want to sit and eat my chow mein and my ribs and just watch the game. That's all I want to do. And I don't mean to be rude. You know, that's why back in the day when I used to hang out at Casey's Steakhouse 3 or 4 nights a week, I would sit at the very far end of the bar. They had that lone television that they don't have anymore. And I could just sit in that corner and watch because I didn't have Sportsnet back then. DirecTV 3-4 years ago didn't have Sportsnet. So I had to go to Casey's Steakhouse just about every night during baseball season. And I could sit in that corner. And Cassie had that TV up on the far left. She's taking it down now because I don't think her mom really likes it to be kind of a sports bar type thing. But I don't know. I felt bad, but at the same time, I felt like I have a right to be able to go out with my friends and not have to entertain listeners. I'm very polite, as many of you know, when I meet people, because I'm extremely grateful that you all take the time to listen and take the time. When you do get a diary, I hope to tell the truth and put our names down. But when you come at me wrong, then it's not going to end well. And when you say I look old and you bring up me getting jumped in a bar, it's just a really bad start to the conversation. And I really don't want it to go any further. Because, you know, what else is he going to bring up? 2006? What else is he going to bring up? My mother is on dialysis? That my father died at 56? Where's this conversation going?
That's kind of what I meant by the social bubbles. You got to know when you're pushing the wrong button at the same time. Like, just read the social cues.
Yeah. Let's reminisce about one of the most horrible nights in your life, Ralph. Oh, what are you going to do? Quick time out. We'll come right back. Check what's on the board. Bottom of the hour, talk a little sports. Lions, Ravens underway already. Got a score? Negative? 0-0?
0-0 still.
And I'll tell you a little about, we've got some audio from Clayton Kershaw weekend, his final regular season weekend at Dodger Stadium. You know what? After hearing some of the stats, I might have to fall off that Sandy Koufax thing. I didn't realize he had 3 Cy Youngs. I didn't realize in a year that we didn't even get deep into the playoffs, he won the Cy Young and the MVP. I didn't know that he's got the lowest ERA in baseball in his era. In baseball, not in the National League. In the 18 years he was in the league, he has the lowest ERA, period, end of sentence. He might be the baddest Dodger ever. He just might. It's just that playoff albatross hanging around his neck. If he has a huge playoff and we get to the World Series and we win it and he plays a significant role, I'll come off my Sandy Koufax. I really will.
See, that's exactly what I said on my show the other day.
Yeah.
If he has a big playoff stretch this time, you guys win the ring, everybody will wash away all the other guys that he's ever done.
And he's got 3 rings, 3 Cy Young awards. Yep, I'll give
wash it all away.
Yep, I'll give it to him. I really will. Quick time out. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's
the
the
JR Show.
Have you guys been down California Avenue lately between Rio Road and Stockdale? My goodness, the construction.
See, I would have
is an
taken
absolute
kids.
mess. You
See,
can't
that's
get
why
in and out of
that's why I
businesses
wanted to
during
play
certain
those games,
times at road
because there's
trips.
so
Nobody's
many good
notifying
players.
anybody
I'd have
about
bet
when
Gibbs.
roads are gonna be
I'd have bet
open.
Lamar.
The city has
I'd have bet
dropped the
Derrick
ball
Henry
on
to
this.
score a
Seriously, it
touchdown
took me
for Baltimore.
15 minutes
I would have
just to get
had
home from work.
Lamar
I lived
for
right
yards.
across the street.
I would have had
could've
Gibbs
walked
for a
home faster.
touchdown.
And the worst
And
part
I would
is,
have
it's
had
gonna last till the
who's
end of
14th?
October.
Let's see.
JR Show. Weekdays
With the
at
weird
2
name.
p.m.
Casey
St. Brown
Steakhouse
would
has been
have
a
St.
long-time
Brown
sponsor of the
with
Ralph Bailey Show, and
how
you
many
all
catches?
know it is one of
Let me
my
see.
top 5 restaurants in
Maybe
this
higher
town.
even.
It's clearly the best steakhouse in Kern County, if not all of California.
And then he gets 5
And
catches.
it
and
just
he's 5.5.
amazes me when I run into folks who say they have
No, I'm
never
saying what I
been
would
there.
bet.
Because if you go
But how
once,
many catches?
you'd be
Can you look it up? See how many
absolutely
catches?
addicted, particularly my audience, because it is an old school restaurant. Cassie Biddle has picked up the baton and done
I would have
so
picked Gibbs.
much
I would have picked
amazing
Gibbs.
things for the restaurant.
I would have
Adding
picked Gibbs.
speakeasy bar
I would have
next
picked
door.
Gibbs.
You can have
I would have picked
events,
Henry for a touchdown.
parties, receptions,
St. Brown
whatever,
catches
or
and
just
Lamar
come and have
rush.
a cocktail.
And I
right
bet I would have
after
won.
having one of the best steaks you'll ever have in your life. It's Casey's Steakhouse. Cassie
No, I
Biddle,
wouldn't.
longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
September is National
I'll hit like a
Preparedness
champ.
Month, and if you're anything
Yep.
like me,
Yep.
I'm always asking myself why. Why would the government dedicate an entire month to this?
They have a
I think
halftime
you and I
thing, don't
both
they?
know the real reason. It's because when things
Underdog.
go sideways, you're on your own.
Can't you
FEMA
bet
all but
halftime?
admits they can't save everyone, and their response time just
I haven't
this
either.
year has
I-
been
I-
horrendous. So
I don't know
instead
how
of
you
sitting
judge that.
around waiting for someone else to step in, I'm actually going to do something about it.
And a
I found
half.
a reliable way
You can
to
get, like,
everything I
5
need
possessions,
to weather any
half.
storm.
You
Emergency
know what I mean?
food with enough calories to keep me strong, along with water filtration, power, cooking, heating. I get it all from My Patriot Supply. They're the #1 trusted source for preparedness items. They actually manufacture a ton of their stuff
Meantime,
right here in the
same
U.S. and they've got over
old
90,000 5-star reviews. When it comes to my family, I'm trusting the best. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now to
Same
protect
old
what is yours.
freaking
That's
Raiders.
mypatriotsupply.com.
He was the starter.
No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't
Oh, for us?
better prices. Shop
I
and
didn't know.
compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet.
And Jackson Dart's going to start next week.
Oh no, Dad, I spilled juice on the carpet.
Don't worry, kiddo.
Who do they
We
play
have
next week?
stain-resistant carpet from Carpet Outlet Plus.
Dad, look, he dumped his water bowl all over the new floors.
Everything is fine. We have brand new waterproof floors from Carpet Outlet Plus. You can find everything you need for family-proof floor at Bakersfield's best flooring store. Now offering 1-year, no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
It took him a half to figure out. Throw it to 11. Guess what? Throw it
I'm
to
JR
11.
Flores.
He's just
Catch
bigger
my
than
show,
those guys.
The JR Show.
Because he was
Weekdays at
never
2 p.m.
he was
Now,
never really
back to the Ralph
open.
Bailey Show.
He was just
on
taking
Newstalk
it from
96.1
bigger guys,
and
shorter
AM
guys,
1180
and then just running them
KERN.
over.
Let the stories be told. Let them say what they want.
842-5376, 842-KERN. Big stories of the day. Donald Trump is telling women not to take Tylenol if they're pregnant. It's a pretty bold statement to say, particularly when you later say you should only take it unless you, what's the direct quote, medically necessary. Well, when else do you take Tylenol? When else do you take medication? I don't know. And Jimmy Kimmel is going to be back on the air tomorrow night.
Are you shocked that they didn't keep it like forever or the suspension forever?
No, even though I predicted that the indefinite suspension meant firing, then I later found out, I didn't know that at the time when I said that, because normally it does. When you're indefinitely suspended, normally you get suspended, they tell you you're going to be suspended for a week or two, or boop, 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 because I have been suspended. But I did not know until like Friday or Saturday that he and Bob Iger are extremely tight, the head of Disney. I did not know that. But this all comes down to the affiliates. They're going to be hungry for his show for about a week or two because out of just pure curiosity, the numbers are going to be out the roof. Tomorrow night, it's going to be the biggest audience he's ever had in his life, including the Academy Awards. But it'll get back to its normal self and the numbers will return. Last half hour of the broadcast. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What's for dinner?
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
I had
Man
the
accused of trying to
pollo
assassinate Donald Trump at his Florida golf course last year has chosen not to testify in his own defense.
That's 12 right there.
Representing himself, Brian Ruth on Monday
bet the
wrapped
over
up
was
his
like
case
45.
by questioning a firearms expert and 2 character witnesses.
I don't know why.
Prosecutors say he spent weeks plotting to
why
kill
they do
Trump.
that. They know they
A Secret
got you.
Service agent
Especially
testified that he
degenerates
spotted
like
the
me.
man and fired, causing
know
him
they
to
got
flee.
you. It just
A
makes
federal
it
trial
fun.
beginning in
It makes
Amazon's
every
hometown
play.
this week is set to examine
like
whether
you're
the
betting on
online
every play,
retailing
literally.
giant tricked customers into signing up for its Prime service and made it difficult to cancel after they did so. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 66
Something like
points.
that. High
the
40s,
Nasdaq
low 50s.
rose 157. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Got 13,000 steps in Saturday.
Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. 2 men have been arrested for alleged possession and distribution of child pornography. Ryan Jackson and Connor Rubalcado were arrested on Karma Court, north of Pacheco Road, east of Monitor Street Sunday morning. Both are in custody and set to be arraigned tomorrow. 2 people died over the weekend after a crash on Highway 65 and Famoso Road. It happened when a 76-year-old man driving a 2016 Honda Fit heading east on Famoso Road went into the intersection with Highway 65. The tractor-trailer lost control, hitting the dirt and overturned. The man driving the Honda and his 66-year-old female passenger did not survive the crash. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Networks. Are you a business owner who feel that your IT company just treats you just like another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive Networks, exceptional customer service isn't just a promise. It's how they do business every single day. And when you call, you're actually talking to a real person who knows your name, understands your business, and genuinely cares about solving your problems. No phone trees, no runaround, no attitude. From the moment you become a client, you'll experience the difference that comes from working with a company that puts customer service first. And no one knows that better than the folks here at American General Media because we've teamed up with Adaptive Networks. Ready to experience IT support the way it should be? Call Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or visit adaptive-net.com today. Adaptive Networks, where great technology meets even greater customer service.
See? Day right.
See, I'm halfway there.
6 to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, there's Big Water.
Because you know Lamar is going to have like 100 yards.
Henry from
and
STPwater.org will do exactly that.
Brown is
And
going to have like
back that up
9
with
catches.
state-of-the-art news
Why?
and traffic and weather.
That's what I just said.
9 a.m. right
That's
here.
what I just said.
AM 1180 KERN.
This ain't right.
First Look with Scott Cox. 6
This
to
ain't
9
right.
a.m.
It ain't right.
96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It ain't right.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
think that you do.
I thought it was unlucky at love, lucky at gambling, or lucky at cards, I guess. Because had I bet tonight, I'm
Is that
telling
what
you,
it's supposed to be? Is that what is? Should I be betting?
lucky. It's what is the phrase? Lucky at love. No, unlucky at love, lucky at cards, or something like that.
Is that what it is? Maybe I need to move to Vegas.
Why? I thought you had a woman.
Oh heck no!
I thought you got with somebody after the breakup with Vesalia.
No.
Oh, my bad. Well, at least you weren't told that you're out of somebody's age group.
You've been taking
By
shots.
far.
You took a couple shots this week.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Like, I know we joked about it last week, but I'm sorry.
That's why I couldn't play with Swaim on Sunday. Because the only thing that got my self-esteem through the weekend was the 86.
Yeah.
And if I had shot 95 on Sunday, I've been called old twice. And
don't play
the one highlight that I had over the weekend, my 86 is ruined by a 95 or a 97 at Sunday.
Don't play again until that's out of your head either.
What?
You're old or out of my age range.
No, I'm playing next weekend. No, I'm playing next weekend. I'm playing with and plus the greens, they just thumped them. I felt bad because I told Mark. In fact, he texted me as I was making the turn, and I said, you're not going to believe this, but I just shot a 42. It was a beautiful 42. It really was. God. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So I'm going to 8. I'm going to 9, and I'm 6 over. And I'm like, come on. I'm scared to death. That's why I'm a head case. I'm scared to death. It's the last hole on the front, and I could shoot a really nice round with a par or a bogey. That's really all I said. Just don't make 6. Just don't make double. And it's a short par 4, and it's downhill. See, that's another reason that I can hit irons at BCC, and I can't. I'm hitting I'm 180, 190 out at Sundale because Sundale is flatter and the fairway doesn't run quite as much as BCC. And the 9th hole is a short par 4 that even me with my 200-yard drives can catch. It's straight, and then it goes downhill, and then it goes back uphill toward the green. So if you can just hit it to that, even if you hit a low line drive with an iron, if you can just roll it and it gets that hill, you get that roll. So you've only got like 8 or 9 iron at most. If you can just hit it in the fairway, even if you don't hit it that far, it'll roll and it'll catch that hill, and you'll get to the bottom of the hill, and now you got like 130 yards in.
Right.
So that's all I'm trying to do. I hit it in the only place you can't hit it. I hit it right, and I'm right in the middle of the trees. I'm right in the middle of the trees. And at this point, Sam is like rooting against me because he's giving me 5 aside. And I hope he's not listening, but I'm kicking his ass. You know what I'm saying? I've made double bogey. So he's got to make birdies to beat me, because even a par, if it's on a pop hole and I make bogey, no sangria, no blood, we are even because I pop.
So I'm sorry, not to cut you off. You had 5 aside,
meaning
with
that
86?
5 aside means he was giving me 5 shots.
Right.
So on 5 holes, I popped. So if he makes 4 and I make 5 and I'm popping on that hole, we're dead even.
Right.
If we both make bogey and I'm popping, I win the hole.
Okay.
And since I didn't make any doubles and Sam was missing his putts, we were both making bogeys, and I'm winning the hole with bogeys because he's giving me 5 aside, which is crazy.
Right.
It's 10 strokes for the whole thing, but he's a 4 or 5. And like I said, he shot 80 and was pissed.
Well, that's what I was kind of figuring in my head.
So I hit it right where I can't. And Sam is licking his chops. And I hit the worst punch shot in the world. And somehow it dribbles out into the fairway. And Sam is like, "You're the luckiest son of a gun." And so now I'm laying 2. And I'm like, "Come on, Ralph, just get it on the green and 2-putt. Just get it on the green and 2-putt." Chris, I took the prettiest little 9 iron from 120 yards. Used to be a wedge. For Sam, it's like a sand wedge. But I have to hit 9 iron now at 63 from 120 yards, which is crazy. I hit it like this, Jackson. I hit it like this. Like this. I didn't even have to putt to make par. And I shot a 42 on the front. And I was just like, I literally wanted to go home. What a coward I am. Wanted to go home. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Play the Clayton Kershaw audio I sent you.
So let's see now what young Clayton Kershaw will do. He had said before the game he's always nervous before he pitches, and I'm sure he's really fighting the butterflies right now. And the 1-2 pitch, Kershaw's fastball got him swinging. And down below us, we watch his mom jumping up and down, applauding. There she is, gray-haired lady in the black sweater trimmed in white. Other members of the family, although Clayton is an only child. Fastball that just exploded up around the letters.
Better than 50,000 on their feet at Dodger Stadium. 1-2 pitch. Strike three called. There it is. He got him with a slider. Strikeout number 3,000 for Clayton Kershaw. History at Dodger Stadium. They will stop the game. Kershaw doffing his cap to the crowd. This adoring crowd here at Dodger Stadium. As Clayton Kershaw enters the 3,000 club, just the 20th member and only the 4th left-hander in the history of the game.
So let's see.
So that's his first strikeout ever. And it's just so pleasant to hear Vin's voice. And the video is even better because you do see his mom and you see, I'm pretty sure, his girlfriend at the time. I don't think they were married. They were childhood sweethearts, his current wife and mother of his 4 children. They grew up in Dallas together. They went to the same high school together in Dallas. But I don't think they were married when he first started with the Dodgers, his rookie year. I think that was his girlfriend standing next to mom. But it was obviously very serious because you don't bring your, some side chick or some woman you're just dating.
No, you don't get to sit next to mom.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say. I've had many women that I've seen, but only 5 or 6 girlfriends, serious girlfriends. And of those 6, only 2 of them met my mother. Roxana, who I thought I was going to marry and who went with me to bury my dad in South Carolina. And Carla never met my mother. Lori never met my mother. I think Monica is the only other one who threw me out because she caught me cheating.
I'm the same way. I would have had a third, but the third one didn't want to meet my mom until we were super, super serious.
Yeah.
And it just never grew to that point.
Yeah. But that was his first and final. And then when you look at his resume and the fact that he's done something the likes of which we will never see in our lifetime again, what is it? What did he do that we'll never see in our lifetime?
The 3,000 strikeout club, Mike.
But what did he do? What was extraordinary about his specific 3,000 that's different from everybody else's, different from Verlander's, Max, whatever his name is? What's different about his career? That's a big hint.
It's all been on for one team?
Exactly. We'll never see that again. We'll never see that again.
Yeah.
Because if I live to be 100, which is 37 years from now, there may not be anybody get to 3,000, let alone do it with the same team.
Yeah.
Really? Not in the 21st century, Jackson. Not with contracts, not with trades. 3 Cy Youngs, and 1 year he won the Cy Young and the MVP. Pitchers don't win MVPs. The more I read about this kid, the more I know of him just being, he grew up in LA. How old did Vinny say he was? 19, 20?
Yeah, it was like maybe 18, 19.
I mean, he literally grew up here. All of his kids only know Los Angeles. They were all born and raised here. He might be the greatest Dodger. He really might. And that, because Sandy, I don't think is in the conversation of the greatest Dodger just because he only owned the club for 7 years. I think Kershaw's greatest rival is probably, it just might be Shohei. It just, I can't, who else? I mean, of the 70s teams, there's none of those guys that can stand with Kershaw. The closest one would be Garvey, because he set the National League record for most consecutive games, and he was kind of a gamer, and he always came through. Ron Say, no. Bill Russell, no. Dusty Baker wasn't with us long, and he ended up going to the Giants. I mean, maybe. Ooh, I forgot about Jack. You got to kind of throw Jack out, though, because Jack is the greatest Dodger, period, but not necessarily for what he did on the field. Jack is the greatest baseball player, in my opinion, because he broke the color barrier and he changed Major League Baseball forever. But I think if you're going to assess talent, and plus Jack started at 28, so his career was only 10 years as well. This guy went for 18 years and never really had the Michael Jordan with the Wizards career. He's had bad seasons. I mean, he's had bad seasons where he didn't finish in the playoffs, but his play, he's having a great season. At what, 38, 39? He's having a great, he is one of our best. In fact, one of the talks is put him in the bullpen, period, during the playoffs. Don't even let him start. With the record that he's had, and we know he can throw 2 or 3, come in and just throw nothing but curveballs and sliders.
That's all you need him for.
Hey, I'm for it because, like I said earlier, there is no one in left field we can trust. I'd rather they bring in the drunk guy sitting in left field pavilion than anybody from the left field bullpen. God. And it's like predictable. We had a 1-0 lead with Blake Trinan coming in, and I never watch it. I never watch the game on time. I wish all my friends knew that. Randy's the only one that always says, "Are you on time on the game?" And I'm like, "No, I'm an hour behind." Everybody wants to tell me things during the game, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm 30 minutes behind you." Now the whole game is ruined. But so I'm catching up, and I catch up, and it's 1-0 in the ninth because it was 1-0 for a little bit.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not even going to watch the ninth inning. I know what's going to happen. And I'm sitting there, and I just watched the little diamond. And in the first, there's one on first. And now there's one on second. And there's one on third. So now I slow it down because I'm assuming here comes Doc. No. Bases loaded. He's faced the 3 minimum players. Doc leaves him in with the bases loaded. Up 1-0. We lose 3-1. Lose 3-1. And it's just like, to the Giants. Although we did take 2 or 3. We took the series, of course. And we're going to win the division again, of course. I think we're 3 up on the Padres. You know, if the Padres played halfway decent, they'd win this division. But they spit the bit at the very end as well. But we're in big trouble. I'm scared to death at this ball club. We're just not getting big hits with runners on scoring position. We even tried to play small ball. Do you notice that? We're bunting more with Miggy Rojas and Edelman and these guys. We're bunting a whole lot more and advancing runners because we're not hitting the home runs, the big shots that we did. But Shohei hit his 53rd, I think, this weekend. 50-50, man. Oh, and I remember who it was now. Who the others that went 50-50, other than the steroid boys, McGuire, Sosa, and who's the other steroid boy? Alex Lopez. That's what I call him. You know he still misses her.
Oh, 100%.
You know he totally. If she said come back, he'd run like a Ben Affleck.
Well, didn't Ben Affleck and they just broke up again, didn't they?
Yeah, after breaking up.
Yeah.
She double dipped with Ben. Why not double dip with Alex? Especially now that he owns. Who's he own? The Timberwolves. Alex is worth some money now, Jack.
That's good.
Alex might be closing in on the B word. She might run back to that steroid boy. But the other 50-50 guy is Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr., of course, and Shohei. Only guys to go 50-50. Mickey Mantle didn't go 50-50. Hank Aaron never hit 50 home runs his whole career and hit 755 home runs. Never hit 50 home runs his whole career. Last break of the night. Keep it locked. Tomorrow's a Tuesday. Teresa Golden returns to the fold, our former federal magistrate judge, and we'll preview Jimmy Kimmel's re-debut, I guess you call it. He's back on the air tomorrow night at 11:30. I'm sure most of us will all be tuned in. Does he double down? Does he apologize? What kind of explanation can he give? Because, before he got suspended, the rumor was he was going to quadruple down. He was basically going to say, screw y'all. So after a weekend with his friend Bob Iger ahead of Disney, as Jackie Gleason used to say, this ought to be rich. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Tuesday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show will break down everything in the White House moving towards a continuing resolution when it comes to the budget. What is the absolute latest there? And we will continue to track what is going on with the investigations into vaccines from RFK Jr. All that and more, Tuesday edition, Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to 9.
You want to knock out your promo?
Yeah. God damn it. Ready? 3, 2. This all comes down to what the affiliates want, the independent affiliates throughout the country. They were going to preempt Jimmy before Nexstar or Iger got involved in this, but they're going to hang with him for a while because initially his numbers are going to be out the roof. But his contract up is in January. I don't think you're going to see Jimmy Kimmel in 2026. Should I do that again?
Just that last part.
And I'll just do the whole thing again. You ready? 3, 2. This basically comes down to the affiliates. 3, 2. This basically comes down to what the affiliates want. Yeah, they're going to be hungry for Jimmy Kimmel initially because his initial show and for a week or two, his numbers are going to be out the roof. But his contract is up in January. And I'm telling you, I don't think we're going to see Jimmy Kimmel in 2026. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Tuesday TRBS. It's a Tuesday. So our former federal magistrate, Judge Teresa Golden, returns to the fold, and we'll preview Jimmy Kimmel's re-debut. All that and me at 3. It's TRBS. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you at 3.
Your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code PARTY5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Program.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. November 25th, Dignity Health Arena. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
812-537-6842-KERN. Let's read a couple text messages and catch the second half of this football game.
Mr. Bailey, I'm a long time listener. Love your show.
Thank you.
I've ran into you several times in public, and you've even let me take a selfie with you. Sometimes I don't bother you, but don't you worry. You've always been great. We know you love your fans too.
Thank you. That's really, that made my day, actually. Thank you. Because I was really concerned whether I was short with this gentleman or rude with him, or did I do something or say something him to have to turn to me and say, to hell with you. Just trying to watch the baseball game, eat my dinner. Little chow mein, fried rice, bone-in wings, and the ribs. Love, love, love. I'm having chicken tonight though, because I had a 5-star burger. What's it called? Five Guys burger yesterday. It was pretty good.
Oh, Five Guys. Huh?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Wasn't bad at all. What else you got?
Sorry, I was reading something because someone had told us to check out the Fox News's latest headline about Kimmel.
What is the latest headline on Kimmel?
The one I'm reading here says Sinclair will preempt Jimmy Kimmel's show despite Disney ending its suspension.
What did I just say? What did I just say? Well, for those viewing, I'll pull back the curtain for those that don't watch. We actually tape our promos so that Chris doesn't have to like dig through the show and find a specific segment that was actually live on the show. At this point, or at 6 o'clock or 6:01, I will just repeat something I said during the show. And the promo that you're going to hear is, I literally said, this all comes down to the affiliates. And his contract is up in January. And I don't think we're going to see him in 2026. And now Sinclair, which doesn't own as many ABC affiliates as Nexstar. If Nexstar had come and said they're not running it, that would have been gargantuan. But the fact that they're even, let's say, a dozen, and I know Sinclair owns more than that. They also own the CBS affiliate here in town, KBAK. But let's just say it's 12, and I bet it's more. That's gargantuan. That's millions and millions of dollars the network is not going to see. So once again, Sinclair has proven that the FCC has had nothing to do with this. Donald Trump had nothing to do with this. Brendan Carr, the idiot FCC chairman, had nothing to do with this. The networks were ready to put them on the air, and Sinclair said, nope, not us. Go ahead, Nexstar. Go ahead, network, but we ain't doing it. And I literally just cut the promo that you're going to hear probably tomorrow morning or the next day, where I said it's really up to the affiliates. It's not even up to the network. It's really up to the separate, different affiliates. Is Derek Jeffrey going to air it? Now, Derek Jeffrey's station is owned by Nexstar, but they're the NBC affiliate, so that's a stupid comparison. But that he would have that kind of decision, that on the local basis, he could determine as the general manager of the NBC affiliate what goes on that NBC show or NBC station. And if he doesn't think it fits the morals or values of Bakersfield, he can decide not to run it. Now, he doesn't have that dilemma because, again, let me make it clear, because you hear things differently. They are the NBC affiliate. Derek Jeffrey doesn't have to make that decision. They are owned by Nexstar, but they also own ABC affiliates, 32 to be specific. But that's the kind of decisions that are made locally. And Sinclair just said, no, that's a great story. It's a great way to end the broadcast. It really is. And it is the end of the broadcast. I want to thank Kathy Abernathy for joining us. And all of you. Don't forget, it's Ryder Cup week. Coming up on Thursday, Nick Ragone joins us. You know, the guy insulted me, even said he liked Nick Ragone. And couldn't wait for Ryder Cup. And as most of you well know, it's the final week of the fair. Tonight, it is, please stand by. Oh, Lord, I know I wrote it somewhere. Somebody Hayes, Mark Hayes, Gabby Hayes, Bob Hayes. Hey, I don't know who's at the fair tonight. Have a great time. For Chris, I'm Ralph. I'll wrap tomorrow.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump claims that Tylenol use can lead to autism. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The president announced that the FDA will notify doctors that the use of acetaminophen or Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with an increased risk of autism.
Don't take it. Don't take it. There's no downside in not taking it.
However, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists said the Trump administration's statement is irresponsible and is not backed by the full body of scientific evidence. Greg Clugston, Washington.
More violence in the war over Ukraine. International correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
At least 7 Russian aircraft bombed Zaporizhia overnight into Monday, killing 3 residents and injuring 2 more. A parking lot and critical infrastructure across the city were targets. Teams cleared debris and evacuate the injured. While in Sumy, a security guard was injured in an overnight drone strike at an unspecified facility, according to the head of the regional administration. Rescue workers doused flames as fires tore through residential buildings. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A man accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump at his Florida golf course last year has chosen not to testify in his own defense. Representing himself, Ryan Ruth on Monday wrapped up his case by questioning a firearms expert and 2 character witnesses. Prosecutors say he spent weeks plotting to kill Trump. A Secret Service agent testified that he spotted the man and fired, causing him to flee. Ruth has pleaded not guilty to charges including attempted assassination and assaulting a federal officer. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 66 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. Visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745.